Yo, 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 yo. Welcome everyone to Duck the Glock podcast. I'm Glock. That's Duck. um, it's gonna be hopefully a chill weekend. What's going on this weekend? What's going on with you? What are you doing?
I'm actually not really doing anything.
No.
I'm probably gonna stream tonight and then maybe like tomorrow a little bit or something. But
Yeah.
it's a chill weekend, which is kind of nice because
Yeah.
I'm vibing with that.
Yeah. I'm gonna be. I think I'm just vibing at the house. I don't think I have anything to do this weekend. Monday's my birthday, so might do something. I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna do. But I've just been on fucking Tarkov lately, so it doesn't even matter to be honest. What I'd be doing, I'd just be playing Tarkov constantly. Yeah, but shit. I mean, shit. Even just a chill weekend is always a good time, bro. Always just
No,
nice
like
to
I'm
fucking
actually chilling
relax.
about it.
Yeah, that's what I
'Cause,
mean.
yeah,
Just good to relax, bro. Get that time, that downtime, and like I said, for me, for being almost my birthday, like I would rather do out of all things, I would rather do is just play my game, just be left alone, just play my game, just chill. You know what I mean? Like not feel like I have a bunch of responsibilities to do. Like I just want to vibe. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah, I feel that.
anyone watching, and listening later on either YouTube or any of the podcast streaming services, just remember to try to drop a like or a subscribe if you're not. It would mean a lot to us. We're still trying to grow this community. It's we got a pretty small community, but we're out here every week almost. We missed a couple weeks here and there, but for the most part, we're trying to stay on track and trying to grow the community and trying to just chill and have fun. With the podcast, we bullshit a lot. We talk about a lot of random shit, but honestly, we just want to be able to have a community with people that like the shit that we like. Dude, there's one thing that I was reading about that I thought was kind of funny. Did you see the what's it called? The cat game on Steam?
Stray? Is that what it's called? I
Stray,
think
yeah.
one of my coworkers got that game and he was like, "I can't wait to play it." I'm like,
It's funny because I actually have no desire to play it, obviously. I'm sure you could figure that out. But it's funny because the reason why I bring it up is not because I want to play it, but because it is it broke like their play record. Yeah, hold up.
for Steam?
Yeah, Steam's
Brother, that's how desperate people are for a new game. Change my mind. The reasoning behind it is how desperate people are for a new game. And like, is it
it's
completely...
Steam's number one game right now for the most weeks in a row. But the Steam Deck is the top seller on Steam, which that doesn't even. What does that even have to do with anything?
That's just an advertisement.
But yeah, it's the most played game for most weeks in a row right now. So just like a random like indie cat game where you're like literally
there was a
role
lot of
playing
hype
as a
behind it for
cat.
some reason, but I think it's people just want a new game.
Yeah, I mean it's just
And it is like only, I think, like a $30 game-ish, so you're not paying like the $60, $70 cost for some games nowadays. So
yeah. It was made by Blue 12 Studio, and it's roughly a 8 to 10 hour long game apparently. So it's
yeah,
obviously a short. It's just like
that's what my coworker said.
kind of whatever game.
8 hours to play a game where you're a cat doing puzzles.
Yeah. But I just thought it was funny that it was like their number one game, like breaking records type shit too. Not even just being number one like when it released or people wanting to like fuck around and play it, but like it was number one for weeks, like broke a record. Like what the fuck? Since it
I think I
released.
already have like 200 hours in it.
Yeah, me personally, I got like I have like
You
I had 1,800 hours in this game, so just if you're gonna try to tell me how this game works, I would really prefer that you didn't, because clearly I play this game more than you.
it's only been out 3 days, but I literally have hundreds of hours in this game already. So
Has it only been 3 days?
yeah.
I guess
PlayStation early release, I
day.
think.
Oh,
because it's a PlayStation exclusive game, where it's supposed to be like that. Like you can't play it on Xbox. Console wars.
I mean it's PlayStation Steam exclusive, so. But
Yeah,
really,
that's what I'm saying.
but really, everything gets PC. Like, there's very few games that PC doesn't have. Like, I guess that's the out of all the other benefits
Nintendo.
that there is for
Yeah,
PC.
that's all it is.
Yeah, Nintendo.
Nintendo.
But you're not getting Nintendo on either of the other consoles either. So I mean,
No,
but,
I
like,
know, but I'm just saying, like in general.
yeah.
Talking about
So, but like,
Nintendo's like the only
if
thing.
you were like trying to argue all the reasons why someone would want to have a PC, and it's like, well, if you own a PlayStation and there's any Xbox games that you want to play and you can't, or if you own the other way around, I guarantee you all those games are on PlayStation or on PC, somewhere on
Friend who
PC,
owns the game,
on Steam.
and it does not surprise me who does.
Does his name start with a J
No.
or a G?
Actually, his name does start with the J, and his
Oh,
name
yeah.
is actually Josh, but it's not the one you think, which is hilarious now that I think about it. It's a different one, but doesn't surprise me. But yeah, not my game.
Yeah, I'm not playing
Not
that shit. Well, first
I
of all,
played it. Someone paid me to play it
yeah, I
but-
mean, like, we've whatever.
because it is supposed
If
to be
I could get a
good meme
sponsored
game,
stream, sure,
but I'm not gonna like sit here and just
Yeah.
spend $30 and 8 hours of my time playing a game where I could be a cat.
yeah, no way.
If
I'm
gonna be a pussy, I'm gonna be a wet one, not a fucking cat. That's just weird.
what the? Yeah, I'm still like doing my
Well, like there's no rain effects in the game, is what I heard. What do you
Yeah.
think I was talking about?
I'm doing my Kappa grind
Like
on,
weather effects are important.
on Tarkov. I'm doing my Kappa grind, so that's the main reason why I'm not gonna play any other games for long periods of time, especially not a cat role playing game. Like I would just. If I'm gonna play anything else right now, it's probably gonna just be Fortnite, and it's gonna be for a short period of time, just to do some like quests and shit. You know what I mean?
It's
like-
crazy. We've kind of have fallen off the Fortnite grind.
Mostly
I
because
don't
you
know, I
started
kinda got
playing
a little
Smite
old
again,
from it, too.
and then I
Yeah,
got
it's-
as soon as I get back into Tarkov, and I'm sure you already know this, but as soon as I'm like, all right, yeah, you know what, I'll start playing it again. Like it's just a grind until I get to the peak of where you need to be in Tarkov, and then it's like, okay, now I can go play something else. But like until then, I'm just gonna Tarkov. So
I think Smite's just been nice because I've been winning more and actually like doing my own thing. You know what I mean? This Fortnite, like as we kept stacking up on our elos and whatnot, I started to realize that I'm not as good as I am at like Smite. I can see how that would be good, honestly. That does sound pretty good, actually. I wonder. Ooh, you should try that with completely switching topic. I see what you're talking, but
Jesus, boy, I'm feeling
I
good.
remember what it's called. I think it's a Dr. Pepper berry or something like that.
I just saw that shit in the store the other day. I'm not.
You should
trying
try that with the Hennessy. That would be good as shit.
maybe I guess with Hennessy.
That'd be good as shit.
Can't stand dark sodas that are flavored like
It's not sweet berry. It's not what you think it would be. I tried it. It's actually
like,
pretty good.
like cherry Coke, dude. Oh,
No, it doesn't taste. Oh, it's not cherry either. But
no, I know. I literally saw the box. It's a dark blue Dr Pepper box. I literally picked it up in the store trying to figure out what it was.
pretty good. It's good for comrades like I.
But I was like, nah, I'm good on that.
Bro,
But,
this is why I need a new chair. If I lean back now, my chair just goes back. I hate this shit so much. I really need a new chair.
I didn't even pour any alcohol in my drink. What do you mean? I was just holding the.
This is
bottle.
water.
I was just no. This
Dark
is Hennessy,
water.
but I was just
Ah.
holding it. While
Yeah, I don't
was
even know
looking
actually.
at
What
my
are the
cup.
terms of service with that kind of stuff?
Oh, you can.
I don't know.
You can drink. The only way that you can't drink, live
What
on
is
Twitch.
There's bitches on here that do porn, so I mean, really, let's be
Yeah,
honest. If
literally.
a drinking's a big deal, then who cares?
But no, it's you can't have someone like people can't pay you to take shots. and shit.
Advertise because you'd be selling it. It's just like commercials.
No.
Oh,
Like, they
you're
can't-
talking about like
$100 if you take 5 shots. Like you can't.
I guess that's kind of makes sense because they don't want people doing literally like 30 shots and then going to the hospital and then like suing Twitch for the fact that their platform is the reason some dumb shit that would happen.
Yeah.
Or in America, hey, this is a good spot.
But of your own accord, you can drink whatever you want if you're of age. Which obviously we are both of age, but I don't even know how they would prove that anyways. Just look at your account, and be like, it says
Just
here
search at my
you're
OnlyFans.
19. Yeah, my OnlyFans shows how old I am. So don't worry. Like I'm of age and of length. Yeah. So, anyways,
So the weather's
dude,
spicy.
I mean, Tarkov has been like, it's always a grind every
Murky.
time. Every time there's a wipe, it's always a grind for me and I guess for Damien too, because we mostly play together. But it's just like, bro, I love Tarkov so much. Like, it is by far the best game I've ever played in my life. No bullshit. There's so many problems with it, but okay, yeah, best game.
Skyrim.
But it's probably Skyrim is my favorite game ever played. But Tarkov, I think, like as a whole, is like literally the best game I've ever played. But the problem is that
Crucify him, gentlemen.
the problem is that what's it called? There's a lot of problems, but not only is there a lot of problems, it's because the game's not fully released, and they have to wipe it like every 6 months. The servers is that this is my fourth wipe now, and I'm almost at cap already, and I feel like it's just not too repetitive, but it's just repetitive enough where I'm like, all right, brother. Like I basically start whenever I start the wipe. Like this wipe, I started late, but whenever I start the wipe, I get to that point where I'm like,
Yeah, that early grind probably is annoying too,
Dude.
because you do the dumb
oh my
shit
God, it's
first.
fucking annoying. But yeah. But well, the thing is that like I can deal with doing the task and grinding through my gear, and like honestly, it gives you
Can you,
something
though?
to do, huh?
I say candy though.
Oh no, I can't. I do every wipe. But the thing is that it gives you something to do. But at the same time, like there's a lot of situations where like where I can't help but think about if this was still like the same as the last wipe, and I just decided to start playing again, I would have all of the best gear, all of the best guns, all of the best ammo, all of the best meds. Like I would have tons of money. I would have fucking my skills maxed out, the important ones. Like, and the game would just be more like at that point you're playing more for PvP. And I get it. Not everybody wants to play a game like Tarkov for PvP. But in my humble, very,
So
whatever
the reason a
opinion,
lot of people don't want to play Tarkov is because of the resets of having to regrind everything out.
yeah, but well, you don't have to. I just choose to because I want to be one of the top level players, and you have to have Kappa to do that. You could be a normal. There's actually, as a matter of fact, literally every single player I play with, other than Damien, doesn't get Kappa. Not one other person I play with gets Kappa. Not one. And even
It's
the
such a
last
sweet
the
story.
last two
Just
wipes,
how
Damien
far
didn't
you
get
go
Kappa
is
either.
relevance.
The last two wipes,
Yeah, but
Damien
I'm
didn't
saying,
get Kappa.
yeah, but I'm just saying, like, you still have to restart though and like regrind stuff. Obviously, you don't have to necessarily go all the challenges, but like
Yes,
get your loot, re-level up your character. Like that's still going to be inevitable, regardless of
definitely.
if
Yeah.
you're going Kappa or not. That's what I mean, though. That's
But
one of
most
the big
people don't
benefits
even
of doing.
like honestly. So there's a task you get to level 42, and there's a task that you get that's called max traders. I don't remember what the name of the task is, but it's you get max traders. So max level. There's 4 levels for every trader, and depending on the level that you're at in that trader, is the things that you can buy from that trader. So as you level them up, you get better items from them that you can purchase, which is a good thing. Like better ammo,
So, like
better
Minecraft
armors, better
traders?
bags. I have no idea. I don't play
Yeah.
Minecraft. But anyway, so as you level them up, right, you get so that's at level 42 is when you have all the traders at level 4. So level 42 is like so it's level 50 now. They changed it from 62 to 55 for Kappa, which is a good thing because it was fucking a little too hard. Like I got it last wipe and I was like, it was a fucking grind because from level 60 to 62 is the same amount of XP to go from level 1 to level 60. So like it's a fuck ton of XP, right?
I remember you saying that last time. Yeah,
Yeah, so
it's really not ideal.
now they bumped it down to 55, so cool cap is a little bit easier to get. But the next step that like more normal players will be is like to have max traders. So level 42. Like I would say like a normal player that's not grinding through all the tasks and just grinding tasks constantly like I am, they're probably like by like mid to end wipe, they're just hitting 42. We're like I'm already 42 and my account's only like 10 days old. So like, and like these people play for like 4 or 5 months before they hit level 42. So that's the difference is I can play for task and because I'm good at the game and I know the maps and I know the loot spawns and I know how to do the task. And I've done them over and over and over again now, and just whatever, just based on a lot of different things, right? I can go be level 42 very very quickly. But then there's people that don't don't play like that, and they might grind to like level 15. Level 15 is when, and then that's like the next step from like it's like 55, 42, and then it goes all the way down to 15 because at level 15 you unlock the flea market, which is where you can go on and you can like basically just trade and buy shit from other players.
Oh, to other players. Okay.
Yeah. So that's like the next like step is like 1 to 15. You basically can't do shit. So you have to do some tasks because you want to level up, but most of those are a little bit easier. They're just kind of annoying more than anything. Once you hit 15, you have the flea market. Like one of my friends, he hits level 15, and then he absolutely does not give a fuck. He doesn't play the game to get tasks, to get capital, to get max traders. He just wants to unlock the flea market so he can buy what he needs and play the game for
just
like
go play PvP. Yeah. I guess that's fair too, though, because that's kind of what the game really is about, honestly. Like, if they switch out of PvP, people really won't be playing it as much as they do.
Yeah, but so the other thing though is that they changed the way that the flea market works now. There's a lot of items that you can't sell on the flea market because
I remember you saying that.
yeah,
too.
old wipes with the RMT shit.
Yeah.
So it kind of got to the point
It's
where
kind of dumb, but you're gonna do a wipe anyway, so people buy it. Then who cares? Whatever.
yeah, it
It's
doesn't really matter. But so
you're gonna reset all of it anyways, and then they'll have to buy it again eventually if they want it. So
yeah,
if they're not gonna,
if you're
willing to
spending,
actually earn it.
like people are RMTing in Tarkov, they're spending a fuck ton of money. And then at the end of the day, the reason why they do the bans on that shit, and I hate to say this, but I think it's honestly like I have mixed feelings about it, but it always comes back to BSG, which is Battlestate Games. That's who the developer
Yeah, and I bet
is. They make money off of that shit. They don't directly make money from RMTers, so people that are paying for items or money in game or ammo or guns or whatever, right? They make money because the cheaters that are going and collecting all these items or taking people into raids and finding them all these items, those guys get banned regularly and have to buy new accounts. Every time they get banned, they gotta go buy another account, and BSG makes another however much
true.
money.
And then
So-
they sell
just
stuff, and then they ban them
constantly-
again. And
And those cheater accounts, I'm not really sure exactly how long they last, but I've seen different things, heard different things, like maybe a week, maybe if they're lucky, like 2 or 3 weeks, but most of the time they never last like even a month. So like if you're just constantly buying $50, $60, $70 accounts, just every fucking month, every week, every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks, like fucking BSG is making money off that shit. And the other thing about their income is they don't have that many new, like I could be wrong, but I don't feel like they have that many new legitimate players. Like their player base can only get so big. Like there's a reason why it spikes at wipe is because all the cheaters that were stopping at the end of wipe because people stopped spending money because they already have all the shit they need, right? Or they already have all their items, or they're already leveled up, so they're not spending money with cheaters anymore. Now those people are not buying anything, so the cheaters aren't cheating and they're not getting accounts banned. But then as soon as wipe happens and all these people need all of their shit and they need all of their fucking leveling and they need all their items and whatever, now all these cheaters are coming back to play the game like, oh fuck, now I can make some money. And then of course a bunch of accounts get sold. But it doesn't make sense how like the player base is so small mid to end wipe. Like I get it. There's people that get bored of it. There's people that are like, oh, I do this over and over again. The game doesn't release. But like, there's a certain extent where you gotta certain not extent a certain like moment where they gotta realize like, bro, we're making this money from cheaters. Like we're making this money. Like there's no way you're gonna tell me these guys don't know that the bulk of their income is from cheaters, because they don't have any in-game sale. There's no in-game transactions. There's nothing. They don't have anything to make money off of other than selling accounts for their game.
And they're not like it's like they're one of those communities that isn't like growing consistently, or it's not going to.
Yeah. I don't
So
think
that
there will
is
be
the
another
money.
like true big spike until the game fully releases. And then it might have like an actual big spike of concurrent players because all the people that don't want to deal with wipe because they've either read about it, watched videos on it, or heard about it from their friends or family or whatever, right? Like you, Daryl, for example, like people that I personally I know. I mean, you have your reasons, but I know plenty of people that don't want to play the game just purely based on they don't want to have to reset every 6 months. And I get it. If you have to really want to be a player, like want to do that shit to do it. Like I really want to do it, so I'm going to keep doing it. But like I understand completely people that don't want to.
And
have
some
to do
people
that
just
shit.
becomes a chore. Like they don't want to just
Yeah.
like if they're playing games, they want a game. They don't want to have to literally go do all this shit just to
Yeah.
be able to compete with other people
Exactly.
with this stuff.
But
But yeah, like the cheaters is definitely they're making money because they're not like a growing community.
No, and not even, only are they
So,
not a growing community, they can only make so much money off of accounts. Like
well, yeah.
at a certain point, even if your community grows massively, like say they fully release the game, say 100,000 people buy the game, right? Probably not even that many, but say 100,000 people buy the game. That's a fuck ton of money, first of all. Like $60 for the base account or $50 for the base account. That's a lot of fucking money. But say they make 6 million off that shit, right? Or 600,000, however much it is. Say they make that much money, right? And then those people, when they come and all the current players don't have anything to spend money on for BSG to keep making money. The game's fully released. There's no more wipes, so cheaters aren't going to be needed long term. The guys
really
that are doing arm
cheaters are
tier,
their thing.
they're going to need short term, and then their accounts are going to get banned. But then after a couple months, everyone's going to be where they want to be, and then they're not going to be paying cheaters for anything. Like, probably not in bulk, at least. Maybe some people, I'm sure. I don't really know, but I'm just saying, like, it doesn't seem like it would continue on with the cheaters once the game's fully released, because it's going to be obviously fully released. They're not going to be wiping constantly. So they won't have cheaters buying accounts. All the players that wanted the game, for the large amount at least, will already have the game. You're obviously going to get new guys here and there, but not in large bulks. And then they have no way to make money after that. Zero way to make money. They have no income. So the problem with that for me is, like, I don't want there to be a ton of in-game transactions. Like, I don't want people to just be able to buy items, like the best items in the game, shit like that. But, like, they have to figure something out to make money. And they're talking about, oh, well, the rest of the locations, the maps, right, are going to be basically like DLCs. They haven't released them. There's like 3 or 4 of them.
So you pay for them.
But again, like, they can only make so much money off of that. Like, that can only go so far. And for a very small studio in Russia, like, they need to make money. Like, they have to make money. They can't do this. They can't maintain servers all over the world without making money.
We had to start selling like gasoline or something.
Yeah, they got to start selling natural gases.
They gotta get into that industry.
No, but for real though, it's like they need to, like, in my opinion, what I would suggest them do is do cosmetic stuff, but like light cosmetic. Like, we don't want it to turn into Fortnite, obviously. Like, but there's a lot of things that you can do IRL cosmetically that people, even in combat, actually do.
Hilarious.
People spray paint their guns in combat. People wear crazy t-shirts and masks and fucking hats and shit. Like, it could be such simple shit that they could add to Tarkov that people would legit pay for just to
it
have,
would be
like,
cool to see like emotes, like you floss on somebody's body.
even like I mean, yeah. I think they would never do emotes, but like if they put a game in where I could wear, like, if they put it like an in-store game in, right, and I could pay like a couple dollars that I could fucking put a fucking Playboy t-shirt on my fucking PMC, bro, that would be sick. Like, I would get it. Like, dude,
Or like a paint job of like the Ukrainian flag on your gun or something. Like shit like that would be hilarious. But like, yeah, I get what you're saying. They have to do something small. What? I'm just, it was something, just first thing that came to mind. I don't know why it's a big deal. Yeah, but so stuff like that, like obviously gun skins is huge because even like you just said, that's
dude,
a
people
legitimate
have
thing.
crazy ass gun skins.
Even if they're only paying $2 or $3,
yeah.
even if people pay $2 or $3, if they buy 5 of them, that's
if I could get a Twisted Tea,
costs them nothing to do.
If I could get a Twisted Tea paint job for my Glock in game, dude, I'm paying IRL money for that. No questions asked. Immediately paying for that. It gives you no advantage in game, but the fact that I can walk around with a Twisted
And
Tea
they are
in
Russia,
Glock,
so they don't mind doing like all those.
they don't give a fuck,
like,
ripping off people and companies.
Yeah, they'll rip off all those companies. They don't give a shit. So honestly, they probably would do something like that. That's actually massive brain.
Like, they need to, regardless of what they do or if they do something, they have to do something. There has to be some way to
And
make
the whole
money.
in-game buy-in shit has just become like in some extent,
Battle
it's actually
passes
cool.
and in-game items have
Yeah, in
become
some
the
stuff
way
it's
that
been
games
cool, but
survive.
that's literally now gaming companies are just they're some are over excessively doing that.
The
shit,
only
let's be
reason why
honest, but-
Fortnite and Apex are still legit games in the way that they are, if not they are the 2 best battle royales right now, is because they have so much in-game shit that people can buy, coins, in which they can turn into skins or whatever.
Yeah, Fortnite's more money out of
Right?
than any other game in the
Bro,
industry.
they have all the money in the world to keep a team, to keep that game running and add new content, add new skins, and add new battle passes, and add new fucking guns and add new everything. They have a team that they can afford to pay to do that because they make a shit ton of fucking money off that shit. If you have a game where there's no in-game purchases, eventually you're gonna have to stop paying that team of people that's making all this content for you and adding all these in-game items, and the people, especially the people that are writing the code and actually adding them in the game. Me and you could sit here and make fucking 1,000 ideas for what they could add into Tarkov, but then you got to pay the people that are actually going to do it. Like, you're eventually going to run out of money. Like, no questions, you're going to run out of money. You don't have in-game currency or in-game items to purchase or something. You have to have something to buy. Even COD with their basic weapon skins and character skins, they're making a fuck ton of money off that shit, bro. Making a fuck ton of. And then Tarkov's like, no, we are too realistic to have gun skins, to have in-game purchases. Like, have you never been in real life? You know I can wear a lot of different clothes, right? You know I can spray paint my rifle, right? You know people get them fucking plastic dipped all the time.
Yeah, but like, I mean, okay, I can't say it's for sure, but I feel like also the Russian military might be a lot more strict on stuff like that.
Dude, I feel like maybe, yeah, but I don't know. But my point is that regardless,
I couldn't tell you either way. Like ultimately, I couldn't actually tell you that they are, but I would feel like also they are very formal. So maybe that's just one of the things too, is they like that idea. I don't know.
Yeah, but also you're playing as an option to either play as Russian military or U.S. military. You're literally the characters.
And with how realistic they are too, I think that they also don't like the idea of not. I mean, obviously they should and will have the ability to control what they put in it. But they don't want people to start like excessively doing shit too, though. Probably, you know what I mean? Like doing like dumb stuff too, though. I know. I mean, you're right.
There's a guy that I was in.
Everybody knows that.
When I was attached to
Fortnite has literally made like I think they were like the first game to make $1 billion off like in-game fucking currency, and they literally have continued to make like billions of dollars just off of the fact that they're selling skins, so designs to people to play with in-game. Like that shit, even honestly
like me, speaks volume. Hundreds of dollars on Fortnite skins just to be like, wow, I can run around as
I'm really cool.
Captain America.
I'm Batman. I'm fucking Batman.
No, I'm Batman. Like I literally spent so much money on skins just to run around a game just so I can talk on my mic to the only people that can hear me, which are my teammates, and be like, no, I'm Batman. And use the fucking grapple gun and then just keep saying, no, I'm Batman when I swing on somebody and kill him. Like, do you understand how much money? I mean, I know you do, but I don't think the people that make Tarkov understand how much money they can make just purely off of stupid shit. Stupid people like me. If I could be Batman in Tarkov and I could just sit on a fucking a building or a container and then jump down on somebody with my gun and fucking kill them as they go down, and just so I can say, no, I'm Batman, I would pay the money to do it.
Yeah, in game,
or not. But my thing is like. My thing is that, like, I just can't comprehend how they haven't figured this out. They're like, no, we don't want in-game purchases. People hate this. I'm like, no, people love in-game purchases.
Do in addition to already trying to get the game out. Like, let's be honest, they still haven't released the game. It's been in.
It would take them 15 minutes to add a clothing item in the game. Take it 15 minutes.
I mean, you would think so, yes.
They have an overlay. All they do is just change the way it looks. Yep.
Yeah.
They have
the design. But I don't know, dude. I'm just saying, like. I'm trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, I guess. But
dude, when I was at Bragg, there was a guy in group that I knew that his actual military issued combat rifle, his M4, was literally he painted it bright yellow. I'm not bullshitting you. He deployed with that bitch. Bright yellow.
He's the first guy to go.
There was lots of dudes that did crazy shit. There was another dude that had like he had fucking stickers all over his shit, like anywhere that he could fit them. Like they don't give a fuck. No, especially not group guys, especially not the guys that are going in for. Like the lore of Tarkov, it would be those type of guys that can do whatever the fuck they want. Like those guys are the guys that have full beards and wearing t-shirts and fucking ranger panties with a fucking pink rifle and going in there slaughtering fucking people. Like those are the type of guys that you have in this lore. And you're telling me that there's no way that they could have a spray painted rifle. They've never ever they don't know anything at all about the military, American military. They know nothing about it. Telling you right now, nothing.
No, it's not.
And I'm sure, and especially another thing is that you have the characters in the lore in the game, right? Are these the scavs, right? They're these like locals that are like turned like crazy people because they're just trying to survive, and they'll straight up try to kill you and everything. All right, so the thing is, right, is that you think that those people would never do anything to their guns if they were given a chance. If they found a fucking spray can, a fucking bright blue spray paint.
No, I agree.
Dude, they would spray paint everything, bro. Like, I would. Fuck it. Like,
I actually want to get one of mine dipped, honestly.
Yeah, I want to get a Glock dipped. I want to get the Twisted Tea. I said that because I actually want that. The Twisted Tea spray job on my Glock. But what I'm saying though is that for them to be like, no, this is impossible because we know that nobody likes in-game purchases. Like, dude, people
Well,
love in-game purchases. People love
there
skins.
are a lot of hard asses that also do hate it. There really are. Like I'm not. The
Those,
people who do like it, like
listen,
100 to 1 outweigh them.
yeah,
don't get
I was
me
gonna say
wrong,
those 100 people that
but
don't like
there
it.
are
There's
people-
10,000 people that are gonna spend money on it.
certainly are people that do.
There's 100 people that are gonna be like, I can't believe I can make my rifle yellow now, and I have to pay
Like,
$2.
honestly,
And then there's gonna
If
be
they ever did
10,000,
that, I would never play Tarkov because like that to me is like just a way to ruin that game.
and there's gonna be like 100 people like, I can't believe I can pay $2 to spray paint my rifle red. And then there's gonna be
$2.
10,000 people. There might even be 50,000 people that pay the $2 to spray paint their rifles red. Like they would make so much fucking money. If you got 10,000 people to pay $2, that's 20 grand. Like that, and I guarantee you, out of 100 to 200k concurrent player base, I guarantee you at least 10k, probably 50k, maybe even 100k
A few bucks, honestly.
are
there's
gonna
be a
pay
lot of
$2.
people- Yeah, for nothing, for
guarantee
pocket
you.
change.
Dude, if I had a game that had that many concurrent players, I swear to God there would be so many in-game purchases, and you get filthy. We all know this; it's proven time and time again with all the other games that have in-game purchases. They get filthy rich.
The biggest
All of
games right now do that.
All of the biggest games right now have in-game purchases, and
multiplayer
all of
games.
them are huge games.
Which,
There's-
like, I respect it
Fortnite didn't
because, like,
die when
you're
you
a
could buy
multiplayer
Travis
game.
Scott. Fortnite didn't die
You're a
like
multiplayer game. You don't want to have to create a whole nother game just to keep your fan base. So that is a good way to do it because it gives your fan base something new. And like certain people like us, like there's certain things that I will buy just because I like it, obviously. Like and relevance to like the Nickelodeon stuff in Smite or like the superhero stuff in Fortnite. Like just cool shit.
even if they could get a partnership with like just a random like pop culture
Like liquor
company,
brand,
a
like,
liquor
just to do-
brand, like a fucking random like designer brand, a designer like some
Like
cartoon
Gucci
shit.
or Cardi
If
B
they
or
could,
something.
yeah, if they could, no, but for real though, if they could get any single thing that's like American pop culture ish, they would fucking make so much fucking money, bro. It is insane to me why they don't think of that, or if they have thought of it, why they don't do it. They could rip it off, bro. If you ripped it off and put like a fake ass looking Playboy bunny T-shirt, I promise you, I would pay for it. And there's a fuck ton of people that would do the same.
Yeah, they gotta be careful.
It does. They don't have to be careful. They're in Russia. No one's gonna sue them. There's nothing they could do. They could literally just do it. There's nothing. No, there's nothing that they could do. What are they gonna do? What are they gonna do? The U.S. is gonna put
Sanction it.
sanctions.
On their because they're downloaded through provider from the internet. You could block the game.
Who could block the games?
The government could.
Do you think the government's gonna step in because
Wouldn't.
because they used a Playboy looking design?
Considering
On
there's a
t-shirt?
lot of sanctions already, I don't know. I'm just saying, like,
No.
there's definitely things that could be
No,
done.
the government
But
is
you
not gonna
say
step
there's
in.
not, but there definitely could
I'm-
be. There
okay,
definitely is way.
Okay,
You say there's
there
not,
is
but
a
there's
way.
100 million ways. To
Sure, there's
actually
ways, but
make them
if you're
pay.
telling me that the United States government is going to see Battle State Games with Escape from Tarkov using a knockoff Playboy logo inside of a game for a purchase, and they're going to be like, nope, not selling America anymore, not going to happen. I don't think so. Dude, it would take so much pull from a company to get them to shut that game down. I just don't. And you know how many things use knockoff, like even Fortnite, before they were getting all the rights to all the skins, they were making like the knockoff John Wick. They were making the knockoff like all the skins that they were knocking off to make them. We knew who the fuck they were. They just didn't have the title look exactly like them. Come on, bro. And Fortnite is.
I'm just saying.
I'm not saying it's impossible.
Yeah, I was
but
just,
I doubt it.
I'm just saying, like, I guess in my perspective, like, with my mindset of like politics and whatnot, with how people are being so biased towards stuff, that there would be enough people that would do it just out of spite of the fact that it is a Russian company, even if it has no ties to the Russian government.
Okay, so you know what else they
That's
could
my
do?
perspective, at least,
They have
but
rights to
it's
use
just-
a lot of the names and designs for actual guns. That's how they have all the guns they have in game. Just start using. You could get T-shirts or hats that say Glock or HK on it. And you could buy it in game. And I can put my character as wearing a fucking HK hat and an HK matching
Anyways,
T-shirt.
I'm not
you know
gonna
what I'm
argue
saying?
about that because it's ridiculous. Honestly, yes. It's regardless, they could easily get a company to partner with them and do something. Like, there's literally so many fucking companies that have partnered with so many different fucking games. Like, they're not even staying committed to one single game because they
did?
know that there's gamers will buy so much shit. So I don't think it really fucking matters at this point. It's more just
You know what
The
they did?
creators, Dasta Games.
They knocked
Beats to
off
actors.
they knocked off Under Armour already. Actually,
I'm gonna believe it. I'm not saying it's not gonna happen. I'm just saying if they actually use like a legitimate logo or something. But yes, obviously a company like that, even if they couldn't actually get a partnership with, they could easily just rip it off. And they obviously wouldn't care because they probably don't have the same standards
not at all.
for many reasons.
How can I add? Let me share screen. Look, 1 second. I just want to show this. Oof, let me take this out of the screen for a second, just in case. I just want to show you something real quick. So then I'll show it in stream, so that way people that are watching or do end up watching can see what I'm talking about. You see this? I don't know if you how fuzzy it is for you, but see the shoes at the bottom?
Oh yeah, it has Under Armour.
It's like a very, very similar to Under Armour, but not. And they're called something I can't remember. But yeah,
Armor over.
yeah. But like they've already knocked off other brands. Like they've already done that.
Oh, didn't mean to do that.
My
Turn off
point
camera
is,
instead of stop watching.
my point is that I don't know. I just feel like that they can make a lot. We've been talking about fucking Tarkov already for like fucking 30 minutes, but I don't know. I love the game so much that I really want.
No
them
one's gonna deny that. I mean, every fucking multiplayer game has started to do some sort of. Even these new games that are like complete dog shit that are trying to be coming to the market. They're starting out with battle passes just to try to get extra money.
Yep.
Like if you look that vampire fucking
was
game
just
that
gonna
came
say
out,
that
that
one.
completely died off already.
Yep.
Like the relevance of that game is strictly a few streamers that were clearly paid to play it.
Yeah.
Like all these new I should say all this because there's not that many fucking new games that come out, but every single time a new multiplayer game does come out, it comes out with straight the battle pass, or some sort of in-game purchasing like currency thing. The Warner Brothers multiverses, like that one, they already have a planned fucking battle pass for that one, and skins as well that you can buy. I know like some of them you can buy just by playing the game, it's not actually like straight out to money. But and then the knockoff 2 Tarkov that we were playing we played a while back. Now it's actually released, but I haven't played it since. The Cycle Frontier.
Yeah.
That one, they already had a battle pass plan for it. Like all these companies know that if you want to make money, you do shit like that because it costs you very minimal expense because all you're literally doing is changing the color fonts and designs of the fucking outfits. Especially some of them are literally just a color change. It's not even like a physical cloth, like, structure change. It's or like to the actual digital. It's just the color. So for them, like it makes sense to do that, and no one's gonna disagree with that. And if they were to, it honestly be just because they're the haters of the whole in-game purchases.
Yep. I think that for the better, like this is how I look at it from like a business perspective, I guess. But if I'm running a business, a company, which they are, Battlestar Games is, a development company. So, right, I'm thinking about it in the sense of I need to make money for my company, to pay my employees, to pay myself, to keep making games, to keep updating the game I have. You need a way to do that without
you're
just a bad business person.
$1,000 a year, maybe, to design stuff, right? Let's say that's what they're paying them. So you're paying them, ultimately maybe $1,500 a month. You're gonna ask somebody to say, "Hey, can you do a different color font, 4 different outfits, a few skins?" They're gonna take maybe a week to do that. So it's like $700. And in your return investment is if you literally get 1,000 people to put $10 in for that whole battle pass, you just made what is that fucking $10,000?
Yeah.
So you pretty much made over $9,000 for paying somebody to do that for you.
Yep.
And that's like saying you're pretty much that vampire game that just came out. Like that's saying you're gonna fail as a company. This is a game that's already been out for years, already has a very committed player base that's not gonna leave unless they do something like tremendously horrendous.
Yeah.
And you're just literally giving your already basic player base some cool aspects to the game that they can add and enjoy while they play the game.
Yeah, and then you're gonna have like,
it's like you said, even if it's
real
literally $2
downside
skin, and they only sell to literally like a tenth of what their player base is, they're still going to be making at least $200,000.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're still going to be making a shit ton of money that's literally going to maybe cost your employee or even yourself to maybe, for maybe a whole week to do that kind of stuff. Like you're literally just changing the color formats. So it depends and obviously on how graphic,
I
how
could literally
detailed
do
they
that
do
in
it.
like 20 minutes.
If they're painting a logo
If
on
I
it,
had the
yes,
code
it's
right
gonna take
now,
20 minutes.
I could
If
literally do it
it's
in 20 minutes.
well, it depends. Like obviously, if
They're
it's
the
like
developers.
shading,
They can do
I
it.
know, but I'm saying like the shading, depending on the
Yeah.
depth of the outfit. Obviously, there's gonna be something gonna take more than that. If it's a logo, like pinning that fucking Under Armour one on there, that obviously took someone literally 5 minutes. They pulled the design up, they fucking chalked it, they put it right on top of that footprint into the actual database, and that's all it was. That like
And it
literally probably
just
took them
sits
5-10
there
minutes.
and follows the other image that's
Exactly.
over where the
It's that
net
same shit,
code,
so.
your server side is net code is telling the
Yeah,
server
the only thing
where
would be
you're
hard
at.
is if it's shading,
not
that
hard.
kind of stuff. Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying the shading part would be a little bit more because obviously they have to identify more pixels and break it apart more versus just literally coding over something specific.
Even if it took a couple months, bro, of one
I know.
person doing it for a couple months, like there's so much money
That's
in
my
that
point.
shit.
Though. That's my point. Though. If you have a battle pass that's $10, which is like average cost of a battle pass, I think, like at least all the games that I play, it's about $10 averagely for a battle pass.
I think Battle Pass
If
is a
you
bad idea for
literally
them, personally.
I don't disagree with that. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying if you did something like that, I mean, you literally get 10,000 people to buy it. You literally are making $100,000, and there's no way you have an employee doing that for a whole fucking year to make one single battle pass. If you do that, then that just means you should not be managing your company. You should have someone else manage your company.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what that means.
You're a bad financial person. You're bad
You're a
financial. You're a
Company,
bad business
you
person.
should have employees
A
if
bad
you can't get your
CEO.
employee to work more successful than that.
Not even that. If you can't make your company money, you should not be running a company.
Well, obviously.
Like,
Yes,
and
but I'm
if
saying,
the only
like,
way right now that you're making money for your
if you were
company is by
losing
letting
money on something
cheaters
like
to
that,
cheat,
that's your own fault.
Yeah,
No, I
yeah.
was saying like if you're losing money on design stuff like that, that's your own fault. That's
yeah,
not your player base. That's not the fact that they don't want stuff. It's the fact that you're not doing it properly.
You're either doing really stupid shit, or you're not doing enough, or you're doing too much, or I don't think too much would ever hurt. There's always gonna be people spending money on shit. When
Honestly,
the more
dude,
options you have,
Because like I don't if they did like the free game mode and did like a weird game mode for it, I think it would be massive for Tarkov and then did stuff like that.
Well,
But
they're-
honestly, like if they partnered with someone big and then did like a free release thing of like some sort of game mode, not like all Autarky, but like something, and then they did that with a partnership, something, you know how many fucking people would install the game, play it for like maybe 1 or 2 days, buy that just because they like what it is, and then maybe never touch it again. But you just made money off of people literally installing your game, buying something once, playing it for a little bit, and then they're done.
yeah.
Like
So-
I've done that with shit. Like honestly, like Fall Guys, I bought a fucking outfit on, and I only play that when I'm truly bored or if like somebody is just asking me to play.
Yeah. So what they're doing with Arena is they're releasing it as a DLC. So I have EOD, which is the most expensive account, right? So it comes with like the best shit when you start, but
Origin, better guns and stuff. Yeah.
more money starting, a bigger stash, like all that shit. But anyways, but the more important thing is that when
Fast pass, I think, right, to get on the rides quicker.
yeah, as long as you're over 48 inches tall. But so so Damien has DOD, but it doesn't even fucking matter. so fucking,
Really doesn't take advantage of that shit.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
unfortunate.
I would grow some if I'm gonna spend the money on it. But
You're gonna pick that
but
gun.
so when the DLCs come out, supposedly, and EOD holders, which spent like $150 on the game, right, get access to everything. But if you have a standard edition or anything lower than EOD, then you have to pay for the DLCs. But what
Well,
they're
it's a
saying
game
though,
to do that.
yeah, no, yes. But what they're saying is with Arena is that they're gonna release it as a DLC, but it will be available for separate purchase. So you don't even have to own Escape from Tarkov
Yeah, okay.
to own
Which they
the
should do.
Arena.
I think they should do that.
Yeah, so
Because I
if
think
you want
you're
to
gonna
play
get
Call of
people who
Duty,
look at gameplay, because that's what it is. Yeah, you're gonna play a more realistic Call of Duty
Yep.
that has a lot more in-depth like feeling to the game.
6v6
what
arena
it's been
games.
Anyways,
It's
I think that's
6v6
actually
arena games.
super big brain. And then when they do that, what they should do is then release skins, because you're gonna have people who buy that,
Yeah.
play that, and might buy 1 or 2 skins and then never play the game again because they get bored of it. But
or you're
You're
gonna have
gonna
people
make
like
stupid
me
money off it for
that
no
are
fucking reason.
obsessed with Tarkov.
No,
They're gonna
and
buy
then you're still gonna have
everything.
the loyalists, yes, you're still gonna have the loyalists that actually love Turkov, play it every fucking wipe, or even every other wipe. Even you're still gonna have people who play it regularly to some extent that are gonna buy it too. But I'm just saying, like, doing something like strategic like that is huge, because if you're gonna drop something like that, giving people a reason to join the player base would obviously be a like excellent business strategy. And like doing a cheaper PvP style only, like, you know, run and gun, I guess what you're kind of insinuating. It sounds like that's what's going to be
It is.
more of like a run and gun
It's
versus
a
like
6v6
a tactical
arena game. So
Okay, yeah,
search
so-
and destroy, team deathmatch, shit like that. They haven't really specific details, but it is a 6v6
But that's like the
arena
assumptions
shooter.
is that they're going to do stuff like that. Okay.
Well, that's what they are: domination, search and destroy, team deathmatch, like games like that, arena shooter
Which
games.
I think is also going to help them a lot, because
Oh, for
honestly,
sure.
I feel like I would try that shit out too.
For sure, I'm gonna be playing the
Like,
fuck out of that shit when it comes out.
because I think that would be cool. Just like, I don't, because like one of the reasons I hate Call of Duty is the fact that you have to shoot somebody fucking a whole fucking magazine in order to kill them. And at least I know Tarkov is. I mean, as long as you hit your shots, they're dead. But it's not gonna be like if I shoot someone in the fucking chest 4 times in Tarkov, they're not gonna still be running at me.
Well,
Like they're down.
okay, well that's not always true. If you have bad ammo and they have good armor, you can
Okay.
shoot them a lot of times. But in arena mode,
Obviously, yeah,
the point is that everyone is, from what they've released, there's
Doesn't
no
sound like it's
confirmation.
more balanced in that sense.
It's
yeah.
supposed to be everyone has the option to pick from very specific loadouts, and then you can only play with those loadouts.
Well, they should just
So
get
it'll
rid of
be
like
very
the
equal.
armor. They should get rid
They
of
won't
like
do
the
that.
armor ammo concept to an extent.
They won't do that.
They should have it more restricted, in my opinion.
It will be restricted, but they won't get rid of it. That's the whole
That's
point
what I
of
mean, though.
big
Like, it
part of
shouldn't
Tarkov.
be like they shouldn't have like 5 levels of armor and 5 levels of ammunition. Instead, all the ammo should be the same, and then armor you could choose between like 2 or 3, just like you could do in Call of Duty and shit, and it makes you a little bit more tanky and stuff.
That's
But
exactly
it
what I'm
shouldn't be
saying.
like
Yeah,
like
they're gonna have preset options of what you can
It
use.
should be like some fucker gets shit ammo and then someone else gets a fucking tank armor and then he just 6v1s them just
No.
because he has OP armor and OP ammo. Because then that's going to also make the game trash, because then it's going to be completely tilted in favor of people who play the game nonstop every day. Which is cool for those people. But then
regardless,
that's how
even-
they're gonna be
even
like,
that being
"I'm just
said
keep
is-
playing COD, I'm cool. Because that's
well,
what's going to happen.
Yeah, I mean, well, with any new game, there's a big learning curve, especially with something like Tarkov, because of the movement and combat and everything. There's so many
I get that.
keybinds. I'm
But-
gonna go on there, and if I get in a lobby with a bunch of new players, they're gonna have a bad day.
I mean,
they're not
I
gonna
get
have
that,
fun.
but
Like,
like,
even
the
if we have equal
unbalanced
gear, they're
aspect
not
of
gonna
it,
have fun.
It's gear wise, the unbalanced and stuff. I guarantee it will be enough for people to be like, I'd rather just stick to COD. 110%. Because
Oh,
people
of
that are
course.
coming to Arena new aren't coming to Turkov to be like, oh, cool, I'm gonna play Turkov now for the rest of my fucking life. They're like, okay, I finally get to give it a chance because I don't have to deal with the wipe shit. Now it's just actually playing the Tarkov game, and then they get shit on constantly because their balancing is if you play more, you're gonna have 10 times better loot, not necessarily 10 times better at the game. Because yes, that's any competitive game.
Yeah.
If you play against somebody who has me thousands of hours into Smite against somebody who's just now learning, I'm gonna shit on them like 99% of the time.
Yeah.
Call of Duty, people who literally play that every fucking day versus me going there, I'm gonna get shit on. Or you, Turkov, versus me playing Turkov, you're gonna shit on me every fucking time. Like, that's any game. But I'm saying more like the equipment imbalances, they really have to be strategic with that when it comes to the
Oh, it's gonna be very,
arena.
very
Like,
strict.
arena stuff, not the
It's gonna be-
PvP. I get that. That's different because it's the whole point is you are supposed to loot better gear. It gives you a reason to go and actually loot gear. That makes sense to me. But like actual arena game modes where I'm just here to literally play a more realistic gun game should be more like real life than in that sense. It's more realistic. Like your military provides you with your equipment and you're going in to do this fucking whatever it is. You know what I mean?
1,000%. That's exactly what it will be. They're
Honestly,
going
I
to
probably
make
will
it
try
very,
that.
very
I really do feel like I'll
balanced.
try that. I really do feel like I
Yeah,
will.
they'll make it very, very balanced with not only which guns, but which gun types,
Oh, chill.
then
My bad.
which armors, which ammos, which helmets. It'll be a very set list of things, and I don't even think it's gonna be a list of things. I didn't think you'll be able to choose. I want this type of gun with this type of armor with this type of helmet.
I think the only thing
you're
should
gonna
be
have an
like
entire
armors. It
loadout.
should be like based on like physical speed, based on weight. I could see how they would do that.
Yeah,
The helmets, in
they'll
my
have
opinion, would
classes.
be dumb. They shouldn't have better or worse helmets. It should just be you can wear a helmet or you don't wear a helmet.
The tank count. There'll be, I think this is how it'll be. It'll be like, so what you're saying is like you'll have a class where you could be like a really tanky guy, like a really
Yeah.
big heavy armor
You're
with a
just
really big
typical
heavy helmet and like a
LMG.
shotgun or an
Yeah,
LMG.
shotgun, yeah.
And then the lighter
The
armored
typical
people.
sniper that's wearing like a ghillie suit and just light armor that are supposed to be playing more passive.
And then you got like
like-
a medium army with like an assault rifle or submachine gun. Like, in my opinion, that's what they're gonna do because they already said
It's
it's
gonna
gonna
be kind of more like
like
pre-built
classes.
scabs in a way.
Basically, it's gonna be a class. You can
Maybe
choose.
but with like actual classes versus just random
Yeah.
dog shit. It's gonna be more of a balanced scab, really.
Yeah.
Is really what it's gonna
Do
be.
you want to play as a sniper? Do you want to play
So-
as an assaulter? Do you want to play as like a kind of a defender? Basically, there might be more, there might be less, but I assume based on what they have said that that's basically what it's going to be. So it'll be pretty even classes. Like a sniper is going to obviously have ammo that can probably one shot you, but that's the point of a sniper. If you get up close to him, he's probably not going to be able to kill you unless he's a fucking
Honestly, I feel
like
like
a
that's
god.
one thing that I would actually like more about Call of Duty is. I mean, obviously there are some aspects that where it makes it kind of shit. Like if someone's right up next to you with a sniper and just no scoping constantly. Even though, however, bullet will still go through you, it would get annoying. Obviously, people run around with them.
Yeah.
But I do also
You can
hate
do it
when
in
you're
Tarkov.
sitting like Fortnite when you're sitting, fucking 150 meters away and you shoot them with a sniper and it just tickles their taint and then they run around the corner and then heal up.
Yeah.
And like, cool. Now I just pretty much just gave away my position. That's all I did in
Yeah,
Fortnite.
that's all you accomplished.
That's
You accomplished
all I
one
did.
thing,
That's
and
now-
all you accomplished was telling somebody that you were looking at
element
them.
of surprise.
Yeah, all you
Yeah,
did was
I know
tell them,
exactly
I'm
how
looking
that's
at you. You accomplished nothing other than, hey, by the way, I see you. And now they have a gun that they can probably, and better maneuverability.
Which is one of the cool things about like hardcore Call of Duty. Like that's one of the reasons I like hardcore Call of Duty. Like being able to actually use a sniper and not literally have to just sit there for fucking 4 hours trying to kill the same person.
Dude,
even though you hit him every shot.
I've been running it's technically an SVD is like a DMR because it's semi-auto, but it shoots 7.62 by 54R, which is what like a Mosin Nagant runs, which is a big ass fucking bullet. Right? SVDs are actually sick guns IRL, and they're expensive. But so like, I've like doing some tasks. You have to kill 15 players with that shit, and I've been running it, bro. You can just fucking blam people off the fucking. You can hit fire and shit. Like it's fun, and it is pretty realistic because like that gun would not be hard to hit fire, especially if you have a laser, like some kind of laser or flashlight on it. Bro, if you're within like 20, 30 meters of me and I shoot fucking just.
Is it good with the recoil though?
Oh no, it's horrible. but like,
No,
but it's
I mean,
realistic.
like realistic. That's what I meant when I
Yeah,
meant
it's
good. I
realistic,
didn't
yeah.
mean like. No, I didn't mean like. Can I just sit there and go dun 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 dun? No, that's my point. Like there actually is like you actually feel the recoil though.
Oh yeah.
Because you say it's easy to hit fire, and I'm sitting here like is someone literally just gonna be able to sit here and go.
No, but if
And,
I
like,
do hit fire
no
you and I
fidgeting and
hit
shit.
you in the fucking and I have that's one of the biggest bullets in the game.
Oh, so realistic too.
Dude, if you, okay, so
Because when you're playing Fortnite and I'm standing here and you're here and I snipe you, my bullet just goes. Like that's fucking Matrix bullshit.
yeah,
That's
doesn't
not
work like that.
IRL at all. I'm okay with hip firing, but if very few people in this world, okay, I should say very few, but there is plenty of fucking people in this world that if they shot a gun with that large of a caliber, standing up, are not going to be ready to take another shot within a few
oh
seconds.
no, I agree. Yeah.
So like
Oh, I
that's the
agree.
kind of stuff that
It's not-
but Tarky does like that's one thing COD obviously has never and never will understand because they don't give a shit. That's one thing that Tarkov actually like the developers want is you to be able to feel like if you're doing dumb shit like that, there's gonna be repercussions if someone else playing against you is noticing it.
Saying that, also to go with that is the opposite end of that is that Tarkov also has zero understanding of a lot of guns, how much recoil they really have. So the problem
there
is,
is a little bit of problem with that.
the problem is that they want you to feel like it's realistic. Like you couldn't just sit there and spam fire an SVD at somebody and it's just gonna laser them dead center in their chest. Like that bitch is gonna be bouncing like a fat bitch in a box Chevy, right? In real life, and that's how it feels in the game.
What
But
is
listen,
that?
but
It's a
listen,
really good reference though. Like we can't just deny that.
but the problem that I have is that they take like these guns, right? I don't know how many full auto guns you've shot. I've shot a lot of full auto guns. I have videos.
I won't say
I
a
had-
lot, but I have shot plenty enough to know what a full auto
Bro,
feels like.
I have a video. I could pull it up, but I don't want to do all that extra work right now on the stream. But I have a video of me shooting a Tommy gun, right? And it's like a Tommy gun, by the way, is a fucking basically a solid wood and metal gun that's not that heavy, but it shoots 45, and it shoots it full auto at extremely
me,
fast
right?
fire rate, right?
This is
No.
for the thing because I know that because
So-
Kelly's brother is the one that has a Tommy gun. And I shot his as well.
Oh yeah, so I have a video of me shooting it, right?
I know Tommy
bro,
MP5 and
And you can see the target that I was
M60.
shooting. I'm like, brrr, 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 and the bullets are all like this far apart, and it's like 35 yards. I'm like, dude, these guys have never shot a gun in their because the
some of them
M4.
for sure, yeah.
This is the problem that I was saying that on the opposite end is the M4 in this game. When you shoot that bitch, it's like. So if I'm going in to shoot an M4 full auto, like a base M4 in the game, like not modded, it's like brrr, brrr, But dude, I've shot full auto M4s, and you can just lay, bro. You can put a fucking
Well,
100 round mag in that bitch,
They're built for that though,
bro, and you can
Honestly, that's
fucking
why.
lay into that shit. You go, and you're not moving at all. You would not, dude. You could laser
It's
a
just like
fucking.
G36. The
I've actually never shot a full auto.
the one that they
G36.
just added.
Yeah, they just added it in the game. I've never shot one in real life. Not a.
Those
I've
are
never shot one
also
at all.
because the way they're built and the way they're weighted, they're made. I mean, shouldn't say they're made for full auto because people are gonna hate that.
Yeah.
But they're made to be able to like actually withstand that pressure against the gun itself.
Yeah,
Like,
most guns are actually.
Is it like AKs? AKs definitely actually aren't.
They're
That's
not
one of the pros
bad.
of AKs.
They're not bad, dude.
But they're not great either.
No, okay, well, and so
like in a,
Listen,
in a
listen,
scale
listen.
sense.
listen. The problem
Yes,
with the
Tommy
M4,
was worse, but that's because Tommies are older too, though.
Tommy is way worse than M4, and an AK is way worse than M4. Yes, to full auto, but in game, the recoil stats. If I could pull it up, I could show you a base AK and a base M4. A base AK has less recoil than a. So this is like I feel like it's a Russian thing because they're Russian, but like
Yeah,
I've
it's
shot full auto
the
AKs
AKs are
also.
better.
I have a video of me shooting also full auto AK. That bitch is not like an M4. I can lay into it. and I'm just like
It's still not as bad.
An AK is like,
Yeah.
but it's not like
Yeah, you
it's not like you're.
definitely No, no.
What?
I'm not. No.
Who's shooting this gun? A 12-year-old? Like what?
I mean, that's every game.
What the fuck? The only gun that I think that I've shot personally full auto. Okay, in the in game that I've shot full auto in game in Tarkov is the Glock. I shot multiple full auto. I actually have never owned one. Yeah, never owned one. But anyways, I might have had access to one for quite a long time when I was in Georgia, and we used to take it out to the woods and shoot that bitch. Bro, that is the only gun that in game it feels like it. In game it's like you're like this, right? And it's like, bro. In real life, bro, a full auto Glock feels like
It's a handgun because you can't use your whole. You can use
You don't
your
have
whole
your-
body.
you
but
don't have your-
You're
you
not
can't
using
lean
the
into it.
same
Yeah, yeah.
pressure. You're not using the same pressures.
it's only your wrist strength. But trust me, bro, when I say that this is the only gun that they got right in that game is a fucking Glock because that bitch feels like a fucking animal when you're shooting a full auto Glock. It's like
That's how it is. You have to
And
be
you're, like,
a
fighting it
very
so
big
hard.
motherfucker
Yeah.
with a lot of fucking like upper.
Oh,
like,
dude,
armor.
I'm sure that there's like big ass dudes that could just like
Lot of it.
laser
It's
a
just like
fucking
the
Glock.
I've
but
seen people that shoot Barrett's at the hip.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
repeatedly and handle it. Like it's possible.
I've shot a
It is
Barrett at my
possible.
hip. I've shot a 50 cal Barrett at my hip, but not
I'm
like.
telling you, not like multiple times. Like there are people that can do that.
I've seen
Yes,
videos. I've seen videos of it. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also have a video of me shooting to my my shorty 12 gauge. You've seen that video that I showed to you? I shot it with
may
so
have,
I have a video of me shooting this. I have a it was a I actually don't have the shotgun anymore, but it has like a Raptor grip, you know what I'm talking about? The grip that just is like angled down like this. And then it's like literally a 16-inch barrel on a shotgun with,
short leg.
with
Okay,
a Raptor
yeah.
grip. It's not like a
Old
shoulder.
school looking. Yeah, it's the old school
It's
like breaker, the breaker shotgun.
Terminator. Terminator.
Yeah.
All right, okay, right? So I used to have one of these, right? And I have a video of me and one of my homeboys shooting it. I have my video and then his video, and it's the exact same day, exact same gun. I took it out with one hand like this, and doosh, and the next video you can see my homeboy shooting that gun. He's got both hands on it. He's like, boom. So like a big part of that is not even being like a big, and mind you, this was when I was like probably a little bit bigger than I am now, like muscular wise. But this is the time when like I just shot guns like every day, every other day. So I just had so much experience and like I know exactly how to hold it, exactly like my pacing on my breath and the angle I want my
mentally.
arm. Yeah, and mentally I'm not afraid of it either because I shoot
No,
all
not
the time. So I'm
not
just,
kind of
boom.
afraid of it, but I'm saying you
Bro, when
already
he's-
are aware
Oh, yeah.
of you're already aware of the kind of pressure it's going to give
Oh,
if
yeah,
you've
yeah.
shot it before.
Oh, there's
It's
people that
like
are
when I
afraid of that
shoot
shit.
the judge. When I shoot the judge now, I don't. It does not look like I'm shooting the judge because I'm aware of how much it's going to kick now. I know I'm expecting exactly what I should be expecting.
Yep.
But when new people shoot that shit, they shoot one round and they're like, "Yeah, okay, gotta take a break now."
Dude.
Like, I mean, it's understandable. Like, I'm not like dissing on people. I when I first shot that shit, I was like, "Whoa, nutty!" I definitely
Yeah.
didn't just shoot one and done.
Yeah.
That's us. I think you'd be the same way.
Yeah.
But like, no, when you get used to a gun too, though, if you know and you can expect the amount of kick and recoil that it's going to have, you're able to kind of more establish that, like how you're going to stand, how you're going to position yourself, and mentally, I think some people just the recoil sometimes catches people off guard. Because especially
Yeah.
when that's a little shotgun, they're like, "Oh, this isn't gonna kick. It's a fucking little shotgun."
Yeah, they don't know what the fuck is about to happen.
That's a whole shotgun. It's just smaller.
Did you see
Okay?
the video of the dude that shot the shotgun, bro? He shot, it was one just like what I had, right?
His fucking head.
And he, no,
But it was like side.
no.
Oh.
He's just holding it like this. Or he was like holding it in front of him, I think. Yeah. He was holding it like this, right? And he was like trying to shoot it, and it was just like mine. It was a raptor grip. Horrible idea, by the way, especially if you don't know what you're doing. But he was, shot it like this, and his front hand got loose, and the shotgun came up and smacked him in the fucking face, bro. I was like,
honestly,
you don't need to be shooting that. Oh, for sure,
Probably
dude.
black eye and
It probably
fucking
broke his
nose.
cheek. Yeah, if it didn't hit his nose,
Yeah,
it broke.
dude,
He was
that's
fucked.
bullshit.
He was fucked. And he's lucky he didn't accidentally pull the trigger
That's a
again
le-
because
that's a
the
lesson
barrel hit him in the fucking face. But and with doing that and your fingers already on your trigger, you could easily accidentally fucking pull that bitch again.
Yeah, it's a risk.
But what the I would say about you were saying something about the fucking like fear or just like repeatedly doing it. You have the regular judge, right? So I told you already about my
Yeah.
homeboy who has the raging judge with the 454 Casull, which is like literally there's 50 cal, like you know the what's it called, the Smith and Wesson 500 revolver. I've shot one of those too. By the way, it fucking literally feels like it's breaking your wrists. But I shot that after I shot my homeboy's 454 Casull Raging Judge. It's literally one step down from a 500. That fucking gun, bro. The first time I shot it, by the way, I've been shooting guns forever. So many different types of guns, so many
Well,
different types of
yeah.
ammo, everything, right? I shot this 454 Casull, this fucking big ass revolver, bro. And I'm like, I know it's going to kick. I've seen it. But I still couldn't. It was like you said, it was like a memory thing. Like I still couldn't anticipate how fucking hard that bitch was gonna kick. The 454 Casull is like it's a revolver round that's like that tall and about that fucking thick, bro. And it's out of a fucking barrel that's this long. It literally is like the bullet is here, the barrel sticks out that much further. Like, so that's how much travel you have to get energy out of the barrel. Not a lot. And that bitch just boom, and I'm like, holy shit, bro! Like I was like, nah, like let me think about what I'm about to do here, and I had to prepare myself to shoot 5 more of them bitches because it fucking, dude, that is a heavy fucking hitter. And like you said, so what I'm saying is like, even though I had shot fucking hundreds of guns, full auto guns,
Yeah, it's
shotguns,
some guns
sniper
is
rifles,
surprising
everything,
too. It
is
just
that
depends on what it
gun
is.
still fucking was like, holy shit, I've never felt any. And then a Mosin Nagant was the first rifle I ever shot that I was like, I've shot Barrett's and 50 cal sniper rifles, like actual like target rifles, and like they fucking kick. Like obviously a Barrett, I know you
They're
shot
actually
them.
not as bad as
They're not that
people
bad.
think,
Yeah,
though,
they're not that
because,
bad, bro. I shot
if
a
you're shooting a bear, most of the time you're laying down anyways, and the
Yeah.
ground absorbs like 90% of the recoil that people over exaggerate. Like you're gonna fucking go flying.
yeah,
when you're
it's
laying
not that
down.
bad. It's not that bad. But so I shot a Mosin
I was
Nagant.
impressed because when I shot that shit, I really was like, first shot, I was like, oh, it's gonna be weird, and I shot, and I was like, oh, okay, and I just went.
Yeah, and
It's
well,
like-
Barretts are also specifically designed to shoot that
Oh,
big of a
I'll say
bullet
my
and to
favorite
absorb
bullet,
it. But a Mosin Nagant though is not. It's a solid wood stock, old ass World War II rifle with a metal butt on it, a metal plate butt on it, and a fucking solid steel barrel that has, and it's only like 22 inches long, and it
I
shoots
shoot that once,
and it shoots a
just to say I've shot it, but I would never fucking touch that shit again.
My homeboy Dre has one. So we went to North Carolina after he bought it. 762 by 54R. If you don't know how big it is, look it up. It's fucking huge. Not only you, but just anybody watching. It's a fucking massive bullet. And that bitch is coming out of a solid wood stock with a steel plate butt on it and a fucking 22-inch steel barrel.
That's
Bro,
good
and I
mark.
shot that
Like
bitch.
practically whoever you ask,
Dude, I took off my shirt after I shot it, and my entire I could handle it, like I'm a man, but like, dude,
no, but it, like
my
your
whole
body physically is not going to be ready for
dude,
that. Like,
my
that's
body
just
was
not-
so fucked. My shoulder was just solid red, bro. My whole shoulder was just red.
And these
as fuck.
motherfuckers were using that shit like in war.
Dude, they were just like crawling around.
what they
boom,
had to use.
boom.
What they had to use.
Yeah.
It wasn't even like, all you had to do it once. Like they're literally
Dude,
sitting here.
in the 20s and fucking 40s or whatever years those were, dude, those guys were built
Brother,
different, bro. They were just built different.
God,
dude.
someone-
Dude, I'm a man, like, especially at that point in my life when I was like, still like real, I'm fucking, big fucking gym rat, shoots constantly, and like I'm a fucking
Yeah,
big
which-
ass dude and just shoot all the time. And like, it's still, bro, it was a gun that I was like, I cannot imagine shooting this gun every fucking day in battle. Like, that's insane. That's insane, bro. But also, when you think about it from that perspective, is I'm spoiled. We are, but everyone in our generation, and actually for several generations now, or a couple, of war at least type weapons, is that we're spoiled with like the technology and the way that they're built, like shooting, like for example, like we were talking about the Barrett, bro. It's just like you get in, like you're laying down, you're going and boom, like maybe that much, you move, but probably not even that much, but like it's like okay, boom, 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 and then you take him in the gaunt, bro, and I'm like and I stood up to shoot it. Terrible idea, by the way. And I'm like, boom! And I'm like, holy fuck, dude, my shoulder. Like, I thought it went out of place, bro. Like, it was the hardest thing I've ever felt, bro.
I don't even know if I care to shoot
Dude,
that.
it
And
is
that's
so
fun for
bad.
me. I was like, so excited to shoot the 50 cal when I got the chance.
Dude, it is so bad, dude. I think everybody that wants to shoot guns, competitively or for the military, has to shoot a Smith & Wesson 500 revolver and a Mosin Nagant. If you can shoot those two guns, then you can shoot any gun in the world. You can shoot any. If you can shoot those two guns, you can shoot any gun in the world. If you can shoot those two,
Be careful about saying that.
dude. I shot my
You call it
homeboy.
like an artillery gun.
That's you literally just drop it in you. But
No,
listen,
I'm talking about like I
shot rocket launchers.
artillery gun.
I shot
I
rocket
don't know
launchers.
like
In basic-
anti-tank artillery guns.
Yeah, in basic, we had to shoot those bitches. They're not that
I
bad.
was seeing you haven't
They're
shot
like
it.
they're just like you're holding it on your thing, and you're like, and it's like there's like the second where
because
you hear it heating
The
up.
way they're built too, though,
It's like, and it's like, holy shit! But it sounds like a fucking jet just went right past your fucking head, bro. It's insane. But no, what I was saying though is my homeboy that has the Nagant, the Mosin. He has a old school ass double barrel shotgun with a wood like short handle, and that bitch, I ain't gonna lie, that bitch fucking kicks pretty hard. But I was so used to shooting my shorty shotgun all the time that like it was like I had to feel it one time, and after that I was like, okay, I got this. But like I can't imagine a normal person that's never shot guns going to shoot like a Mosin, fucking like a shorty shotgun or a fucking like a Smith & Wesson 500, bro. Like they would never want to. If you started there, you would never want to shoot a gun again.
Yeah, no, definitely. It pays to take your time to find something that start out with for sure.
Yeah,
No doubt.
like a 22. You need to get proficient with a
I mean,
22.
you don't start with the 22, but you could just
22.
start with the 5.56.
I think everyone needs to start with
rifle, but
The reason why I say 22 is because 5.56 is so dangerous. I think if I was gonna train people to shoot, I would force them to start with a 22. They have AR-15s, pistols, fucking everything you could think of. They have it in 22. Precision rifles, like everything. You start with a 22, get proficient on the action of shooting a firearm. And once you're proficient with the action and aiming and breathing and all of this and safety, then start with something that's gonna have a little bit of recoil. Like then you go to like a 223, but honestly, 223s have zero recoil unless you're just full auto. And then even then, like you can laser shit with a 223, bro. Like I mean, laser. Like I could laser a target,
Yes,
a head-sized target, bro. I could laser that bitch.
People are used to it. Yes, the 223, and even most 5.56 is nothing.
Dude, it's nothing.
It's very minimal guns, and it's more just because either the age of them or the way they were built, because they're more for design versus actual
Purpose. I think the people that made Tarkov honestly only shot a Mosin, a double barrel wood short stock shotgun, and a Smith & Wesson 500. They shot those three guns, and they were like, "Oh, this is what the recoil and gun feels like." Okay, a full auto gun must be insane. They don't know that.
That's a lot of people, though. I feel like that's a lot of politicians.
Dude, I hit fired
The only thing that they've ever shot was a Barrett 50 cal standing up, and they're
Yeah.
like, "Holy fuck, these things are dangerous."
fucking shit. But like I full auto like MP5s like at my hip, bro, and it's like
Yeah, that's
and you can just
that's
fucking
actually one of the
laser
other
some
ones that
shit.
I didn't do
Bro,
it
you
at
can laser
the hip
shit.
because they're not allowed to, because I was actually in an indoor gun range.
In a range, yeah.
But they did do it.
The only full auto gun that I shot inside of a range was the Tommy gun, and then I shot
MP5 for the
and then I shot a Uzi, a full auto Uzi in a range, and I felt like that was the big. Honestly, if you're not good, if you're not good, the Uzi might be one to get you. It's kind of like the Glock, just a little bit better. But it's kind of like bro. When you get full out on a Uzi, especially like a classic shorty one, I'm not gonna lie, it bounces around a little bit. Like it likes to lift on you. I could see someone fucking hitting the roof with a Uzi. Like a full auto Glock, if I own a gun range, I would never, ever, ever let people shoot that bitch in there. Nope, 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 nope. Get that fucking sear off your Glock or get the fuck out of here because you are not shooting that bitch in my gun range. There's gonna be fucking holes all through the fucking roof. Like even someone that's proficient, like super proficient in shooting like myself, still like a fucking full auto Glock just feels like an animal, bro. It's just not. Like it's fun to just be. I think it's fun because of the idea of what you're doing, but in like practicality, like it's quite literally the dumbest gun I've ever.
Stupid.
The cost is insane, but the
and $60 just to do something that you wanna. I mean, do it once, yeah, but I would never do it again.
oh yeah, and then you talk about that the cost to sear a Glock or buy it already like a legal one, or to and then also especially if you're doing like a 40 or 45, bro, and how expensive the ammo is, and then that ammo is gone like that, bro. It is gone so fucking fast.
Yeah, it's actually the reason I don't really care for like full auto stuff too
Dude,
much.
it is gone.
What to do, but like I don't never want to own one because then I would just be spending way too much money on fucking ammo.
I had the 100 round Glock mags. Have you ever seen those with the double drums on the outside? And I had the same brand makes them for the M4s and the Glocks. I had one for the Glock. Bro, that bitch was literally gone. I think it was like in like 2 fucking seconds or something. Like the whole mag just oh, like dude, oh, that was good thing. That was only fucking $75 for the fucking 40.
Well, and then you spend 10, 15 minutes just to load the shit too. Because
oh, and it takes forever, bro. My M4 one is worse than the Glock one. Dude, it used to take no. You know what was the worst one I had? I had the 75 round 7.62 by 39, the AK mag. And it's like a metal, like hard drum mag, bro. And I would be cranking like after like 25 rounds, that bitch is like,
yeah,
like it's
then,
just 75, bro. Like my fucking fingers will be red and sore after just loading the mag.
Oh yeah, this is gonna be a good 3 seconds.
Yeah, and then all to shoot it for AK's a little bit slower, but yeah, basically like 5 or 6 seconds. That bitch is empty. I'm like, bro, it took you like 35 minutes to load the fucking mag just to get a 5-second video. Those fucking dude. I don't think a lot of people probably don't even realize how hard it is to load a big mag. Like, dude, large capacity mags are fucking hard to load, bro. Yeah, I wouldn't. No, okay, it's not like so hard that it's like, oh my god, this is painful, but it's like a chore. You know what I mean? Like, it's a fucking actual chore to load that shit. But for the M4 ones, we had it's like this like device is like flat, right? Like on surface, but it's angled like this, and you can put the mag up against it, and you just
spin it in.
Yeah, and it will just fucking crank like 30 rounds in there right away, bro. And that shit was clutch for the 100-round mags on that one.
There's a lot of that stuff done too. Honestly, though, to be fair,
I had them for the pistols too.
Yeah. I don't have one, but I really should get one for mine. But
yeah,
I haven't even used it, so it's more just so I can say I have it. Honestly,
it's pretty.
But, yeah, exactly. It's a collector's edition.
I don't know. I do think it's funny how like so many games have how what the fuck? How so many games have like
what?
Or game development? It's fucking message. So many games have like a zero understanding of recoil or gun mechanics in real life or how they work or how easy it is. Like that's another thing too with guns, right? I feel like shooting is one of those things where there's probably a certain level of like natural ability, right? I feel like I'm probably one of those people, like I'm very, very, very proficient and like any gun I shoot, I can shoot proficiently. But that also comes with so much shooting for so much time and so much training in individual rifles in the military, pistol, sniper, ARs, mounted machine guns, unmounted machine guns, rocket launchers. Yeah, like obviously the extensive training that I have along with period of shooting obviously makes me very proficient. But what I'm saying is that I feel like any singular person, if I took your girlfriend to the gun range, that's maybe a bad example, but like if I took a female, male, it doesn't matter, someone that's never shot a gun to the gun range or very, very minimally shot guns, right? And if I could take them every day for a month, by the time that they're done at the end of the month, they would be a proficient shooter. I would confidently allow them to have a firearm in my presence and protect my life. in 30 days, probably even less than that, but like 30 days for someone that's not like at all desired to do so, and you can still show them proficiently how to shoot a firearm very quickly. So my point is, in video games, is you're always playing a character that's like somebody that's proficient with, supposed to be like a soldier or like a special ops person or like, you know, whatever. Like, how are these people in Tarkov? You got the Bears and the U6. The Bears are like Russian special forces, and the U6 are like, you know, American special forces, right? Yeah, basically. But like, how do you have these, right, in this game? These guys in this lore that these guys are like super badass soldiers, and they've like war veterans. They were sent in this like special operations mission, but they don't know how to control the recoil of an M4. They don't know how to fucking accurately shoot a fucking Glock. Like, you're telling me that that's the type of people that, like, in your head you think they go to war, and there's like a guy that can't handle a fucking M4, one of like literally one of the most lasering fucking full auto guns I've ever shot in my life, and you're telling me that that's how it feels to these guys that are like supposed to be special ops guys? Like, I was never no shit like that. I guarantee you those guys are even better than me, way better than me. You know what I mean? Like, it's every game. Like, even Call of Duty, like, you're playing as like, you know, USOC, like special forces, like every single one, and they're like, no, dude, these guys are we just call them JSOC. We just call them JSOC operators, but in really they're like 11-year-old girls. Like, who the fuck like decides the recoil? And they're like, well, if we make the recoil too low, the game would be too easy. Everyone would have the same playing field. It would just be more realistic. Like, it wouldn't change the fact that the guy I'm fighting can also laser me with an M4.
It's education, right? It's education. Because these people obviously aren't given the time to actually learn it, so they just do what they believe is reality, I guess. But yeah.
Wait, so you're telling me that you can actually shoot an M4 accurately, full auto, for like up to 50 meters? I know in the Army and basic training, you have to qualify, by the way, with iron sights at 300 meters. 300 yards, but 300 yards, they have to qualify with iron sights with an M4. Every single motherfucking person that goes in the Army has to do that. In the Navy and Air Force, you have to qualify with a pistol proficiently. In the Marines, also AR and pistol. In the Army, it's obviously, technically we do AR, pistol, LMG, mounted LMG, and then we do rocket launcher, and then we do grenades. But like, you have to proficiently qualify with all these things with iron sights, and then like in games, like if you have an iron sight, bro, it's like the most dog shit thing in the entire fucking world. Past like 20 meters and full auto, it's like going to the roof. Like, clearly you've never shot a fucking gun in real life. Like, you have no idea how this works.
Right.
I feel like they're just like some politicians in our country. Like, that's how they think about guns. They think that
like kind of keep that stigma like negatively about guns, is that like they're too powerful for the average person to have.
Yeah, which they're absolutely not. I'm sure there's some people that should not.
For uneducated and people who aren't taught the responsibility of a gun to have.
People that don't know the safety
the responsibility that you have as an owner or having the possession of a gun legally is the real big problem. People need to understand that, and that's where there's a disconnect, unfortunately. Obviously, we are aware of it, but I don't know.
I just think that
games won't change for that because they don't care enough.
I just think that if you don't understand how gun operations work, the operation of a firearm works, and how it feels, then you shouldn't be giving your opinion on it. You know what I mean? Just like I also feel like if you don't have a vagina or a uterus, you shouldn't be telling people what they should do with their vagina and uterus. You know what I mean? Like, that's one thing where I'm pretty middle of the road. Like,
everybody kind of deserves to do their own thing. Yeah, I mean, that's what freedom's about.
You know, and that's crazy. It's crazy.
You do your own decisions as a person.
Yeah, of course. And you know, we've talked about this, and we try to stay out of political shit. But a lot of people think, I don't care what people think about me, so I'll say my piece. But I think that a lot of people think that just because you're pro-gun means that you're like this like crazy right-wing, like far-right, like hick, like racist piece of shit. But like they clearly, obviously but they clearly know nothing about me, and then they clearly don't listen to anything else you have to say. Like, if you went and told some people, like if I went and told them like I'm an avid gun owner and proficient shooter,
right?
Like, uneducated. But if I told them that, but then I also told them I support I'm also pro-choice, they'd be like, yeah, but you like guns. I'll be like, but did you not listen? That doesn't mean that I'm a racist, far right piece of shit. That just means that I'm proficient with firearms and I like them. I'm not a fucking mass shooter. I'm not a fucking serial killer.
It's a
I just
stupid
like guns for the
stigma
sport.
no, it's a stigma of the you have to be one way or another. It's literally just like Joy Behar when they were talking about guns on whatever that fucking show that she's on with
Yeah,
the
that's all.
4 or 5 women.
The five, the view, the view. Yeah.
The View, yeah. And in one of her statements she made is she's like,
Black people.
Americans wouldn't be so happy with guns if black people had them.
I saw that. Yeah.
Like that literally is the stigma that like they believe that every person who isn't conservative or Republican doesn't own a gun because they're completely disagree with it. But like
First
of all, just to say black people is completely ignorant and fucking piece of shit thing to
Racist.
say because you're
It's
literally just saying
racist.
black people should like in her view, that's what it's called, the view, that black people don't own guns. I don't know why.
You know what's
I don't know
crazy?
if it's because she thinks they shouldn't or they don't think that they would, but I'm not entirely sure her thinking behind that. But like that's that stigma, right? Like you're completely, which is really one thing that America's super fucked about is that it's always one way or the other, and it's never like, can we just fucking be adults? Obviously.
You know what's crazy? Real quick, pause right there. The two people that I know that own the most guns, more than me, more than any of my other friends, is Dre and Fitz. And by those two names, I know you know who they are, but in case anyone's listening or watching this, they're both African American males that also have very left leaning ideals, and they happen to own way more guns than what you would expect them to own. Like, I mean,
Because once again, it's
a
more
fuck
your
ton.
personality.
And
It's
they're
who you
legal.
are.
Like these guys have class 3 licenses. Like they're legal. They're owning full auto
Well,
and suppressed firearms. Like
someone's out here
they're
thinking
legit
they
gun
are
owners.
legal, then maybe they need to
Yeah, true. But I'm just saying, like, the point is, like, I don't want to, just because I know,
I get
I know
what
a
you're
guy
saying,
in the
yeah,
hood that
obviously.
owns a fucking 100 guns. Okay, well, these guys own class 3 fucking
You should
guns.
probably report him, actually.
These guys own the class 3 firearms, and if anyone that's listening doesn't know what a class 3 firearm license is, it is a fucking very, especially in
Difficult thing to
Maryland,
get.
a very
Yeah.
difficult thing to get. Very extensive background research. Fucking, there's so much shit you have to do. You have to wait massive periods of time to get anything. Each individual class 3 item, which is as suppressed as anything with a suppressor or anything that's full auto or burst. Okay,
Yeah,
and both of these guys,
multiple
yeah, multiple. That's for every
backgrounds,
single
like,
one.
No, but I'm saying like,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
it's very extensive.
And these guys own multiple of each, and they own more
It's crazy.
physical
I've never
guns
done
than
anything
me
wrong with them.
and everyone I know. And I'm one of the most avid pro-gun people I've ever met. Like, I don't give a fuck what you do. You should be able to own a firearm to protect yourself, because the police aren't going to be there to protect you. Sorry, not sorry. They're not going to be there, especially not in your home. Sorry, I don't give a fuck what anyone says to you. This is not even political, but this is just my opinion on protection, right? Self-protection is that you are the person that's going to protect you. At the end of the day, point blank period. If somebody comes in my house right now while I'm doing this podcast and points a gun at my fucking head, do you think that they're going to let me call the fucking cops and tell them that someone's pointing a gun at my head and then wait for the cops to get there to stop them? No. You know what's going to stop them? Is a clean 40 to the fucking center mass. That's what's going to stop them. Not a fucking cop that's going to be here in fucking 20 minutes because I live in Baltimore. They don't give a fuck. I don't live in Anne Arundel County, and it's still going to take fucking 10 minutes, probably minimum, for them to get to your house to try to save you. So people that think that you shouldn't own guns for the very minimum, like even if you don't support my right to have sport rifles or large magazines or whatever, to protect yourself, bro, you think that people really think that that's not okay?
And
They
the
must be
idea too that
fucking
cops
idiots.
are there to save you is also kind of a meme because
nah.
if you're shot, the first people on the scene are cops. Maybe, yes.
Yeah.
But ambulance aren't allowed to show up and aren't allowed to be present until after cops have cleared the area.
Yeah, make sure there's no
So
active
if you
shooter.
get shot,
Yep.
even if the cops are there within 10 minutes, 20 minutes, that doesn't mean the ambulance is there within 10 minutes, 20 minutes. They cannot legally enter the premises until cops have cleared it, and actually deemed it safe for them to enter the
They have
premises.
to confirm
which
that it's no longer
makes
an
sense.
active shooter.
You don't want to put them you don't put them at risk, obviously, because they're not trained for that kind of situation. So that's another misconception. Like, I'm not saying you were saying that, but I'm just saying that's another thing people don't take in consideration. That like
Another thing too about that, real quick, is that people also think for some reason that like if you use self-defense law and you shoot somebody that's a physical threat to you or your family or somebody you love or care about or whatever, they think that you can just like, I can just shoot this guy in the head because he pointed a gun at me and then I can just go about my day. No, I'm going to jail. They're confiscating my gun, and then I have to go to court, and then I have to
You're gonna
prove
get a lawyer.
I'm going to get a lawyer because I
gonna
have
need
to
a lawyer.
prove that I shot in self-defense, and it's a very hard thing to do. It's actually not fucking easy. So like, you need like real, like, other people that saw that happen, cameras that saw it happen, something, because if I shoot this guy and I kill him and there's nobody around, there's no cameras, there's nothing, and yes, it's my guy, it's my word against a dead guy's word, but at the end of the day, I still have to prove that I did that out of self-defense. And if I can't prove that I did that out of self-defense, I'm going to fucking prison for manslaughter at the very minimum. It's like, people don't, they think that, oh, you could just shoot anybody you want, just say it was for self-defense. No, you cannot. It is very hard to get
anybody
self-defense
with
case.
common knowledge obviously isn't going to believe that, right? Like that's pretty clear, obviously. But yes, there are plenty of people that do.
There's a lot of
believe
people
the
that don't
fact
know that
like,
you have to
do whatever the fuck you do.
there's-
I know.
There's a lot of people that don't
I
know.
have a lawyer for that reason, obviously, but you
Yeah.
know why.
Yeah.
But
I had
like,
the USS,
like,
what is it
to.
called? The USS, the USSC.
SCA, whatever.
Yeah, I have a membership with them. So if I ever get caught in self-defense case, I'm a lawyer like that. But besides the point is that, like, if people don't even, they might not know all the extent of what happens.
And you really should have stuff like that.
Yeah.
Just my personal opinion.
Yeah,
but
by the way. But even if you kill somebody with a bat,
someone's action, you have to defend yourself.
Yeah,
and
you still have to
you
go
have to defend
self-defense.
yourself. You have to defend yourself. Unfortunately, like the world is not a perfect place. So if you
Dude.
have to defend yourself, you better be ready to do it unless you're ready to die. And it's even worse if you have someone you care about that you can't defend and you have to do that. Like think about it. Like there's even if you choose not to use a lethal weapon such as a firearm, you might have to do something to defend yourself. And even if you don't kill the person, if you severely injure them, they could literally go to the court and say this person attacked me for no reason. I was invited over there, and if you can't prove that, then you're paying for all their medical things, and you're possibly getting charges pressed against you for assault.
Did you see that thing I put in my Discord about this right here? I don't know if the camera's going to pick it up well. Oh, shit.
I can't see the text, but I see the image. He's like wearing night vision, and he's like,
It's like when you only wounded the home invader, then you remember dead men don't sue, so you flip off the fuse box to your house, and then the bottom says the violence has escalated, and then a check mark, okay, like checkbox. Well, but what I was gonna say though is that, I was gonna tell you a story. Is the bat thing? I had a bat in my trunk when I was in the army in Fayetteville, and I used it for like for something stupid, but it had red paint on it, like literally red paint, right? And it was a bat.
I painted my walls red a few years ago, and I used a bat to paint. So that's probably
No. I know you're memeing, but like legitimately, I don't remember how the fucking bat got, like, it was a wood bat, but it had like spots of red paint on it. And I got pulled over one time, and I told them, I was like, yes, I'm carrying right now. I have a 40, I have a Glock 21 on me. I have a Glock 40. I was like, and it's right here, and I have my shotgun in the trunk. I have a shotgun in the trunk, and they're like, okay, well, like, put them down. We'll give you a ticket. And they're like, well, for some reason they made me show them, which I actually don't think was legal, but I'm not the type to sit there and have a gun and argue with cops that are already probably fearing for their life.
It actually doesn't make sense. No, we don't have to go into that.
But anyways, this is North Carolina, not Georgia, but still same thing. But
I don't care what state it is.
I know. But so anyway, so I was like, they were like, well, can we just see, just to make sure that you know what it is? It's
Make sure it's a gun.
You know what it was? No, you know what it was?
Just make sure it's a gun.
You know what it was? Is because I was doing like
Straight
over
banana.
100. I was doing like over 100 and like a 65.
Yeah, so
so-
federally, you have to tell them, but you don't have to show them.
Yeah. But so anyway, so I got out, I opened my trunk, and they seen the shotgun, then they seen my bat. The bat had like red, from whatever, I don't even remember, it's so long ago, but it had something red on it, right? And they were like, what is this? Like, what do you use this bat for? And I was like, for protection. Like,
Baseball?
no, I was like, for protection. They're like, have you used it before? And I was like, no, it's just in my trunk. I was like, I fucked around
You
with
don't
my
play
bat.
cricket, Mike.
And I was like, me and my homeboy might have hit it around a little bit, or like I'll be fucking around with it, but no, I don't. Like, I've never fucking defended myself with it. And they're like, well, what is this all on your fucking bat? And they thought I like killed somebody with the bat before. They're like, do we need to take this in? I was like, what are you talking about? They're like, it looks like there's blood on the bat. We're just gonna be honest with you. I'm like, dude, it's like paint, dude. What are you talking about? It's like, I literally have a Glock. I literally have a Glock in my center console and a fucking shotgun right next to the bat. And you're thinking that I was like killed somebody with a bat and left it next to my guns, like in my car while I was driving, speeding down a highway? Like, no, dude. What are you talking about?
God, you heard about the squeegee boy in DC or
I did.
Baltimore, right?
Yeah.
That's an interesting conversation to be had.
Yeah.
I don't know too much into it, but I know a lot of like really weird shit about it. But the
Yeah.
guy had a baseball bat, so that's the only
Yeah.
reason I came to mind.
Yeah. I don't want to really talk about it too much, honestly. I don't know if we should. I don't actually know enough details to accurately speak about it. Let's say that. It's not about not wanting to. But yes, I did see the article.
Oh, you plead the fifth.
Yeah. Oh, did you see the? I know you did. But the shooting that happened in Indiana, and the mall, and the 22-year-old kid had a pistol. Who's constitutional carrying his pistol and killed him.
And Dick's Sporting Goods. Yeah, heard about that.
No, it was in a food court, but what they said that he was in the bathroom of a food court, and the kid that killed him was in the food court eating.
I heard it was Dick's Sporting Goods, and
no, they're in a food court. You were literally talking like I'll send you the article.
Anyways,
Anyway, it doesn't even matter where it was. The point is that
I
he was
read on
constitutional carrying, and a fucking crazy person came in with a gun, killed 3 people, was gonna try to start like killing everyone else. 22-year-old kid constitutional carrying. 2 weeks after they passed the law to constitutional carry, by the way.
Indiana,
carrying,
that's right, it was.
Yep, literally 2 weeks before the shooting happened, and he posts up against like a pillar, fucking pops 10 rounds off at the guy because the guy tried to like back into the bathroom while he's shooting. The guy pops 10 rounds. The kid pops. Yeah. The kid hits him with 8 shots. The 8th one fucking put him down and killed him. And I was like, and you know what's crazy though is that nowhere in the major media this is being talked about.
Sad though.
Like they'll talk about Uvalde with the cops where the cops didn't do their job. But you're not going to talk about the 22-year-old kid.
Not going to be sitting here for the rest of his life, like happy about that, right?
No,
like
not at all. That's going to scar him mentally.
Thank God and thank him as a man for having the balls to do what he had to do to protect so much innocent life that nobody could have known what could have happened. No one knows the result of what would have happened if he wasn't there in that situation.
Because 3 died when he was there. God, so imagine if he wasn't
for him being there. Thank him for being a man, stepping up and saying, "I have to do what I have to do. I am legally and lawfully doing this, and I'm doing it." So thank God for him, honestly. But a lot of people too. I've seen a lot of shit on that guy, which is, in my mind, blowing that anybody would honestly talk shit on him. Like he didn't have the right to do that. It's not his.
There's people like calling him a vigilante.
Like I'm literally saying like he's like, oh, he just, it's that stupid fucking like idea like, oh, he probably plays video games and it made him a violent person. He just couldn't wait to shoot somebody and he finally got an opportunity.
Yeah.
It's like, so you're telling me you would rather him not be there, not do that, and that motherfucker come out of the bathroom or whatever, wherever he was, and do whatever the fuck he wanted to because no one else was there. You know what I mean? Like that's one thing that also
even more.
Me
I seen
so
somebody.
Much.
I seen
People
some.
Believe that shit.
I seen some of the Twitter posts where I'm talking about what you're talking about, but I seen some of the like Twitter posts and like one bitch is like in an anti-gun group. She was like talking about, oh, well, the problem is not that he saved people's lives. The problem is that we shouldn't have to rely on vigilante civilians to save people from guns. There just shouldn't be any. I'm like, first of all, you think that this kid was like a vigilante? He was eating dinner. He was eating dinner because the mall was closing. Trust, I'll send you the link. This is what happened. He was eating dinner with his girlfriend in the fucking mall. Like eating some Chinese, whatever the fuck he's eating. He's just eating dinner, sitting there in the food court of a mall. And a dude comes out of the bathroom with a fucking gun and kills 3 people and keeps shooting. And you're telling me that he was on some vigilante? Bro, he's not wearing a mask running around in the fucking back alleys of New York City shooting people. He was in the mall eating lunch. He's not a vigilante. He's a fucking bystander that saved people's lives. First of all. Second of all, the fact that people say, well, the answer would be no guns. No, that's not the answer. There's illegal guns everywhere. Even if they took all the legal guns away in the world, there's still going to be fucking probably millions of illegal guns in the country. Second of all. Third of all, people are saying, oh, well, he was illegally carrying because even though Indiana passed constitutional carry, the mall has a gun. It's a gun-free zone. Technically, okay, which is true, but that's not illegal. So I don't know if you know this or not, but gun-free zones, other than schools or churches, gun-free zones by private
buildings,
private business gun-free zones, private businesses, private business gun-free zones are more of a suggestion rather than a law. So all that mall could do is say they saw him
And
carrying
it's-
his
it's
pistol,
an enforced practice. Yes,
yes,
it's an enforced practice.
they would have to tell him, you need to leave. You're not allowed to have a pistol here. But they could not call the cops. They could call the cops and tell them that he needs to leave, but they couldn't call the cops and he's doing anything illegal because it's not against the law. It's a company's policy. So therefore, until someone asks him or tells him to leave the premises because of a rule he's breaking, not a law, a rule, then he is legally carrying his pistol. And these dumbasses think, well, it said it's a no gun policy. Like, you clearly have no idea how this works. This isn't the White House.
Once
This
again,
isn't
people
a
are
fucking
understanding
school.
that, though.
This is a public. This is a yes. It is private property because it's a business, but it's a public area where lots of people are in this business. The business
But that's
has
the
to
same
enforce their own
mentality you
rules.
gotta go back with. People need to be truly compassionate about the fact that he did something that nobody should ever have to do,
No,
but should stop harassing him for the fact that he did it, and should start saying thank you for protecting people who couldn't protect themselves because they chose not to.
you know,
Like, these people obviously didn't want to go to the mall today and get shot at, and him being there wasn't like a fucking plan. It's not like he's like, oh, I'm gonna go to the mall with my gun today because I feel like someone's, you know what I mean? Like, he was in the right place at the right time in order to protect people that couldn't protect themselves. Sadly, he
unlike
had
the
to
cops
do
that
it.
were outside of the Uvalde school while there was a kid in there murdering
After
children.
hours.
He was actually a 22-year-old kid who went in and fired 8 rounds at an active shooter and killed him with a pistol and no body armor, no backup, no nothing, not
also
100
backs
cops
up
out
the
there.
which also backs up the whole argument of the whole, like, we can't rely on law enforcement when there's situations that law enforcement can't
You know,
defend everything.
you know what it is?
Impossible, obviously.
Training does not replace courage.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Training
there's a lot of
does
things,
not
but yeah,
replace
yeah.
courage. It doesn't matter how much training you have. If you're a pussy, I hate to say it
And
like
even
that,
if
but
even if he isn't courageous, I mean,
he's
even
got some balls.
He's got balls.
No one's gonna stand up with a pistol and shoot at a guy that has body armor and an AR-15, shooting back at you and shoot at them and not have balls. You got
yes,
fucking
it's
huevos
not-
if you do
I'm
some
not
shit like
saying, yeah, but my point though is,
that. The cops that
could
have body
also have
armor
that
on
mindset.
and backup that didn't go in are not courageous. They're
I
fucking
don't
had
think
training and they're
I don't
fucking
think
weak.
I'm personally courageous, but I think if I know, ultimately, it's if I don't do
that's
what I
courage.
have to do,
That's courage.
I don't think that's considered courageous. I
That's
think that's
courage.
just you deducting the results of the situation. You have
Doesn't
to
matter.
understand that if you don't step in and you see no one else that will, you don't see a cop, you don't see anybody in uniform of some sort with some sort of
Takes
weapon,
courage.
most of them like a gun. I don't know.
You're putting
I-
yourself
I
in
get what
more
you're saying.
danger
I get what
than
you're
you
saying,
already
but-
were because he was already a bystander to an active shooter. So he was already in danger. But then not only are you not already in danger, now you're putting yourself in more danger because anybody
You're
that
the
has
next
that's trying to
person.
slaughter people and somebody starts
the
shooting
next
back at them, he's gonna start shooting at
Sure,
you.
that- Yes, it's the
So like he takes courage to do that. No question for it. For me, that he's a courageous person. I think the biggest problem with the people that are putting him down or trying to talk shit about him or say that
They
he was
just
in the
want the
wrong.
reason to always say the guns are bad. That's
That's
really all it is.
point blank
That's their
period.
only fight.
Is they
that
all they
guns are
care
bad.
about is their agenda,
They
and their agenda is
can't
guns are
ever
bad.
side with somebody who does it for good purposes.
Exactly.
That's unfortunately how it is.
and
It's just the same reason that we give Ukraine billions of dollars to purchase guns to give to the civilians to defend against Russia. If they will point out that part, they'll just say that we're giving them billions of dollars. But in reality, we're buying civilians
Weapons.
guns in order to defend themselves.
Yep.
Or even more mass destructive weapons.
Or sending them
guns.
weapons, actual
So
weapons.
yes, yeah. So like obviously in that sense too, like it's kind of like a meme and
then
like
wait, about the Ukraine thing one time. I seen they were talking about we were only sending money. We weren't even sending money to Ukraine. NATO was sending money and weapons. I was like, do you know that we are by far the biggest and richest country that's in NATO, and we provide the most shit to NATO by huge amounts? You do realize that anything that comes from NATO really no, it is anything that comes from
you, but I think like NATO's like financial aspect of it, I think US pays for like 90% of it.
That's what I'm saying.
I could be wrong, but I'm like
That's what I'm saying.
So
Anything that comes from
significantly higher
NATO
than-
comes from the U.S. The people that are like, well, we only NATO send them
They're
money and
just
weapons.
there
We didn't do it.
because they know that we're there. That's really all it is. They're literally just there because they're like, hey,
Yeah.
yo, they're here. Yeah,
well, we're not really gonna do anything, but at least we know you
Yeah,
have
do you
our
think
back.
that Poland and Finland were the ones that have all the
The
money to
joint.
provide all of this
Yeah,
shit
exactly.
to fucking NATO? Do you think that the two
There's no
countries
need
with
to.
like less than a million
There's-
people in their whole country, like they're the ones that provide it? No, it's the country with hundreds of millions of people. There's the most advanced society in the history of the world and the heaviest military in the history of the world, and we're the ones giving the people these weapons.
What?
We're the ones giving these people these weapons and these money and the
And
supplies,
there's nothing wrong with
health,
that. Like
whatever.
they deserve to be able to defend themselves. I'm not nothing wrong with that. But I'm just saying, my
I agree
argument was
100%.
that it's that mindset of it's just strictly that mindset of like there is nothing good can possibly come out of guns. That's a mindset people build. I don't believe that, obviously. But and then that's what they're doing to this fucking poor guy. Like that's what they're doing to him. They're saying they have to find some sort of evil or some sort of negative in the situation to try to drive him down, not because of him, not because of his character, not because of who he is, because they have no fucking idea, but strictly because of the fact that he used a firearm in defense to not only defend himself, but to defend possibly hundreds of lives, because nobody fucking knows,
Dozens.
especially in a setting like that.
Yeah. It
Yeah,
was
I mean,
closing.
okay.
They said the mall was
Yeah.
fairly empty, but still, he saved lives.
Right, but even
Regardless.
so, you save lives. Regardless, a single life is worth saving if it means that somebody else had to take an action to prevent someone else from taking it.
Yep.
Don't care. A fucking life is worth saving, and that's the same argument they're gonna make in general when it comes to like
Cops.
the whole. Not even that, but like, yes.
Those are
That's
also
what
the
I'm
same
saying.
people that'll be like, we
Those
should
are the people that say
disarm
that,
the
like,
cops.
death penalty should not like the death penalty shouldn't be a thing.
Yeah.
And like they're willing to say like just because you do something does not mean that you should be killed for it. But then that's the same mentality of like saving one innocent life, like especially when it comes to somebody who literally cannot defend themselves. Like obviously you're not gonna have a little fucking 12-year-old in the mall walking around with a gun to defend themselves. They're
Obviously.
a fucking 12-year-old. That's not their option. They never should get that option. I'm not saying that obviously. But it's that mentality, like very disturbing
Arm the
mentality. But it's the
children.
mentality that they have.
We're not Afghanistan.
Oh yeah, well that's actually really accurate.
We're not Africa. We don't arm the children to fight in our wars. Dude, Africa, dude, there's so many kids there's literally children, like 10-year-old. Once you're 10, you have an AK that you have to walk around and be part of a militia. They're like, but in America, if you're 21 and have a pistol and save lives, you're wrong. But in Africa, oh, dude, it's totally different that they have AKs. They need it. What?
They need it.
Dude, what?
Because they hunt water.
Like, honestly, the whole world should just have
don't
no
want you to
weapons, no nukes, no guns, no ammo, no swords, no bows, nothing, and the world would be a better place.
And
People would kill people with rocks, stupid.
a
People
lot
would
of
use
those people
rocks to kill people.
don't know the true political climate. Because if anybody thinks that the world will ever be a single quote unquote world order, it's completely fooled by the fact that that's not what people with money and power want.
No.
Because that's how
Even
they
general
lose
public
money and
doesn't
power.
want that. Even
But I'm just saying,
general- yeah,
the
but yeah, I
people
agree.
that do
Yeah.
want that, they don't. The people that don't understand that true thing, like we're always going to have somebody that's going to hate us.
Yeah.
Just because that's how the stigma of the world is, unfortunately. Not them saying I like it, not saying it's good. I'm just.
I don't know if we talked about this before, or on the podcast at least, but did you see in the UK, because you know the gun restrictions are insane in the UK, but
Yeah,
did you
they've
see
been
that?
had, like, a lot of knife deaths and shit.
And now they're
But
trying to ban knives because now everyone's just killing people with knives.
it's
Like,
weird. It was like as soon as we got rid of guns,
Dude,
people
dude,
started
dude.
using knives.
dude, the government told
guns
us.
were illegal, dude.
Dude,
Like,
the government told us if there was no guns, no one would die. Now 1,000 people died this year to fucking stabbings.
Call of Duty mobs.
Like, people have to
Yeah.
understand that violent human nature is unpreventable. I could choke you to death. I could beat you to death with a rock or a bat or a stick or a pipe or a fucking desk or my fucking bare hands if I wanted to. If I'm that kind of person that I have that much violence in me to take another human's being life, then I'm gonna do it. I'm just saying, if you're that type of person that has the level of violence
Yeah,
and
with, like-
mental capability to take another person's life, you're gonna do it no matter what tools
And
you
that's
have.
that's
You're
I
gonna
think
find a
the
tool to do it.
I think the most legitimate and most disappointing argument that people still like for some reason try to avoid when it comes to guns, they're just trying to only blame guns, is how fucked up mentally a lot of people are and how we're still, as a society and as a world, not acknowledging the fact that mental disorders are continuously like sustaining to destroy people as who we are. Like, even if it's not like fucked up shit, like doing things that most people could not humanely do, like even if it's just yourself mental problems, like we as a society, we're still not taking that as serious as we should be.
Suicide, alcohol
As a
problems, drug
world,
problems.
we're not
yeah.
taking that stuff as serious as we should be. And like that's one of those things too, like I get people do dumb fucking shit, but I'm sorry, like anybody with a right mind has to think when they see somebody do something like this that that motherfucker had something mentally wrong with them, whether it
that's-
was the way they were raised, whether it was the influences they had in life, whether it was something that recently happened to them that was a dramatic event that made them something in their brain click, or whether it was just the way their brain was not properly developed to have certain aspects that are required to have a level of sanity, which does exist because obviously that's why we have sanity and insanity. Then like those benefactors are so massive to stuff like this, and it's one thing that literally you will never fucking see on people that are
Benefactors?
pushing the agenda of guns. Yeah, it's a benefactor of
No,
the fucking
a benefactor
problem,
is someone that like donates something to other people.
it's a benefit, an impact of it.
Just factor.
Benefactor. Okay.
No, anyways, I'm sorry. I thought that was. Dude, look it up, dude. Benefactor is like.
Oh, yeah, you're
I was like, wait,
yeah.
what?
Whatever, anyways.
I was like, what? You're donating
Anyways.
mental illness to people? No,
Well,
but
people should be
in
donating to
all
help you,
seriousness,
Dominic.
though, not to take away from the subject of what you're saying, because I was letting you get that out because I 100% agree with you that the largest, by far the largest problem with gun ownership or irresponsible people or murders or suicides or anything is mental issues, and it's not because I have a gun, it's because I have something that I'm either missing or extra that's allowing me to do something immoral or wrong with these tools that I have to do them with, which goes back to what I just said is without the guns, the London thing and what I said after is people with that level of violence, with that insanity in their head or whatever their mental problems, will still find a way to do what they want to do. It does not
Yeah.
matter if I want to not. I should have stopped saying I because people might get the wrong idea. But like, if someone wants to go kill someone, they will find a way. You could run over someone with a fucking car. You could choke them to death. You could fucking. There's so many fucking thousands, literally, of ways to kill someone. And people think that, oh, well, just because they have guns, it's easier. Bro, there's like so many ways that you could just knock some. If you're missing that thing in your head or something's wrong with your head, you're going to do what you want to do. And then they said, well, knives would be less dangerous. If a kid brought a knife into a school with nobody else that has anything to protect themselves, you think he couldn't just go off and start stabbing fucking tens to dozens of kids? Those kids probably are not going to survive, most of them, especially with a big knife, or if the kid knows anything about where to stab somebody to take their life. Like, bro, just because they have a gun, yes, it might make it quote unquote easier for them to do what their sick mind is telling them to do, but that does not mean that they could not do it without a gun. I promise you, it does not mean that. It's not at all. Like, it's so easy to figure out that, like, it takes it. The problem is that people have this agenda, right? And I feel like it's largely to do with money, but whether it's a political agenda or a financial agenda, there's agendas that these people are abiding to because it's what fits their agenda to say that guns are the problem. But we can look all around the world and see places that have nowhere near amount of guns as America does, and they're just as fucked up, if not more fucked up. So like, I just can't, I can't see how people can, like, other than based on either a financial or political agenda, I don't see how any normal level person would be able to like see that and be like, yeah, it's definitely nothing to do with the dude was a fucking psychopath. It's just because he had a gun. And it's funny too because like a while ago, I did like a picture on my Facebook, and like I took a picture of like me holding my pistol aiming at my AR-15. My AR-15, I leaned it against my bedroom wall, and then I took a picture like this, and I was like pointing my pistol at my AR-15. I was like, just in case he decides to get up and go shoot up a building today, I'm keeping a close eye on him. Like, my gun can't just go kill somebody. Like, obviously we get the meme. Like,
Yeah,
everyone can
obviously,
understand
yeah,
the sarcasm in that post, but the point
But
is,
someone is behind the trigger.
no one.
ultimately.
Yeah, it literally can physically has nothing to do with me having a gun. I mean, okay, technically, that if I went to go do that with a gun, it would have to do with me having a gun. But I could have done it regardless, and the gun can't do it on its own. So there still takes the human action, the human insanity, or the human mental problems, whatever, for that event to happen. There's no way that you can say that, oh, it was just because he had a gun. Like that's literally does not even make sense. And those people won't even. Well, it's not that much to do with mental health. It's more the fact that there's too many guns in the United States. So you're telling me that I have a closet with 20 guns in it, and just because I have that, that means that it's just guaranteed to be a mass shooting? No, that just means that I like guns and I can protect myself. Until someone's that has that mental issue or that whatever going on, that action, that event is not going to take place. It's not. It's impossible. It's not going to take place without a human with making that event happen. Or robots. I know. Me and you were obviously on the same page about the guns and gun laws, and people like, which is what started the whole conversation. I was saying is like people like to say that just because you're pro gun means you think one way, and it's that specific, like a stigma of like this is the person you are, but then they have no idea that like, mixed kids, relationship with other races, like very pro-choice, covered in tattoos. I'm not religious. Like none of the other things, honestly. Very few of the other things that are right wing that I even agree with, other than like freedom of speech and right to carry, constitutional carry. Like the only two things that I actually agree with. Everything else, I actually think they're, for the most part, I think they're fucking idiots. To be honest, I'm very middle though because I'm also not very left either. There's a lot of things that are very left. Obviously, the guns and the
most
restriction on speech.
Are though, I assume.
Yeah, like very, 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 very middle for me. Like very middle for me. Because there's things on both sides that, like, if I told right-wing people that I'm fucking very pro-choice and I think you should leave the fuck women the fuck alone with what they want to do because it has nothing to do with you and it has zero influence on your fucking life, or be gay or be trans or whatever you want to do, as long as it has zero influence on your specific life, then why the fuck do you give a fuck what they're doing? And those right-wing people would say, oh, he's a far leftist, and then not know that I have a closet full of fucking guns and I fucking, I fucking love free speech. Like, and I was in the military, like... You know what I mean? Like people are so ignorant or like so stuck to their agendas.
Obviously, elite from one side to the other. Obviously,
but that's what I'm saying.
But yes, I mean, yeah.
My point is, I hate it when people like group all, like they say all Republicans. Like, okay, saying all Republicans is a broad term. Like, you're not talking about far right or far left. Like, all Democrats and all Republicans, that's a huge amount of people with a huge amount of views.
More than 12.
Like you can, yeah, like you can say that I could even probably, honestly, really, probably identify more as a Democrat. I'm just very pro-gun. Most of my views actually lean more Democratic, but if someone were to call me a Democrat, I'd be like, nah, I'm not that. But if they were to call me a Republican, I'd be like, I'm not really that either. Like, there's too many things I disagree with on those two sides.
Once again, it's like most people nowadays. It's just unfortunately this the two-party system. But yeah, I get what you're saying.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying.
I know what you're saying. I think that because like most people that I know, actually like 99% of the people I know that are my age are the exact same way. Like everything's in the middle of the spectrum. I mean, there's some things obviously people will disagree with. There's nothing wrong with that. But they're not all fucking one way or the other. It is not common nor a thing at all, at least from my experiences. But it's most like older generation definitely differently. But people our age, people in millennial and Gen X mostly are more in the middle of just live your fucking life and get over yourself.
Yep, exactly. You know, another thing that I think is weird, I know we're about to wrap it up, but I just want to say this one other thing, is I think people might hate me for this, but probably not that many people hear it anyways, but I think that there should be an age limit on being a politician. Age limit, not age requirement.
I didn't say age limit
nope.
because if somebody says somebody waits until like they're 60 or 70 and does it. I don't know.
It could be 60 or 70. It could be 60 or 70. I still don't even think it should be that high. The problem is the mentality from generation to generation changes so drastically that you know that the bulk of our population is our age, right? It's actually in the 30s. It's like between 28 and 35 or some shit like that, right? The bulk of our United States population is between, I believe, don't quote me on this, was like 28 to 35, right? So you're telling me that the bulk of the country is 28 to 35.
You're still gonna vote. I don't think it's like if you want to vote for somebody that's that age, if they're the bulk of the
can't
age
be-
is that part, then they
You
should be
can't
able
be
to vote that way.
president. You can't be Supreme Court. You can't. There's a lot of things you can't be until you're 35. So my problem is that, okay, I get that they want them to be more mature and have experienced more life, but the people that are in their 60s relate on, like, there's very, very, very far and few the people that are in their 60s and 70s that can relate at all to people our age in any way, shape, or form. Seriously, other than like your core ideas, like your moral ideas or your moral beliefs, there's not 65-year-olds that think that, like, the bulk of them are not going to be like, yeah, you should just be able to have all the tattoos you want in the world and do whatever you want. Like, you do realize that the bulk of the, like, older generation still thinks that if you have tattoos, you're just a dumbass criminal. Like, you realize that, right? Like, they don't realize that you can look like me and go make $120,000-$200,000 a year writing code for a living. They think that if you look like me, you're either a criminal or, like, you are a trash guy or, like, a fucking tattoo artist. Like, they have no idea that you could be. I could be a politician, be well spoken, be well, be college educated, be a veteran, be, you know, all these things, and they think, oh, well, just because you're covered in tattoos, there's no way that's possible. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, there's a huge generational gap from generation to generation that I think that there needs to be some kind of limit on how long you could be a politician for, because not how long, but how old you can. No, not how long. How old?
I know, but I'm just saying.
How long?
How long
Also,
I
yes.
agree on, but not what age. I don't.
How long is already kind of a thing, anyways. But how old specifically? I think because your mentality is so different. Why is?
So are you saying that
why
the
is
cap for how young it should still exist then?
yes? Maybe even lower it a tiny bit, but I don't think you want to have people too. I don't think you want to be too young, obviously, running the country. Like, that would be obviously irresponsible. But I also think it's just as irresponsible to have people that are too old running the country. Like, there's no reason a 90-year-old fucking guy should be in the fucking Senate, bro.
And
What?
don't vote him in.
Okay, I can say that. I'm sure lots of people can say that, but they still can get voted in just because they're the right wing or the left wing, just old traditional politician that,
I mean, yeah, but
has all the
that's
support from
the
all the
problem
money
of-
and no.
That's the problem of society, not the problem of voting in old people. The problem is there's
A law
people who
would change
literally
that.
just vote just for their own thing. I don't.
Yeah, but laws will change that.
I don't agree with the age thing. I agree with limits to how long. Yes, I think most people obviously agree with that. Just unfortunately, the people who make the laws are the people who benefit from them.
I think the 10%
So-
of people that are over 70 years old, probably even less than that, should not be controlling the other 90% of people that are nowhere near that age and don't think anything like those people. That doesn't make sense to me. That honestly is something I don't understand how that's even a thing.
I'm not
don't understand
disagreeing in
how-
a sense, but I just feel like if that's what
And
people
that's the biggest
believe,
gap of
then
where-
we're still voting for them. That's what it would take.
Maybe, but also not because of what we just said. You have party, like bipartisanship. You have party lines. You have party, support. You have money. You have fucking experience. You have fucking people that support you just based on what you did in your past. But then they're not even thinking about the fact that they think nothing like what the bulk of the population thinks like. There's no way you can convince me that 70-plus-year-old fucking politicians think the same way that we think. On either side. No way. No way. Those guys were living during Jim Crow. Like, come on now. They should not be running the country. I'm sorry. I just don't agree with that. I just don't think I think it's irresponsible. I don't think that people that were living through Jim Crow as politicians already, by the way, should still be politicians when the world is a completely different place. There's, like, the fact that Joe Biden is president right now is insane to me. He's, like, senile as fuck. Doesn't have a fucking clue what's going on. Why the fuck is he got voted in? Why? Because people were fucking sick of Donald Trump, and he was the option that the fucking Democrats gave us because he was vice president under fucking Obama. That's the only reason why he's president. It's not because he's probably the best fit person to run the country. Like, come on. Like, I'm pretty sure we could both agree on that. Like, it doesn't, even as a Democrat, even if we were to say we had to pick a Democrat, he's not the best fit
My
person to
opinion
be
is
running
not
the
going to
country.
change. I don't think that there should be an age limit. Like in your sense, and where I would agree is there should be more evaluation of mental health and actual ability to perform as president should be evaluated more before people just vote. Yes, but I still don't necessarily believe with age as a reason.
So you think that if the dude was like 100 years old and people voted him in, that he should be there?
If he's voted in, yeah, that's what democracy is about: is the ability to
You can
elect
still
who
vote
you
somebody
see
that's not
fit.
100 years old and have democracy. You
That's
can't.
their own
You
fault.
can't be.
Yeah, but
You
at the
can't be
same time,
33
you
and
can
be
vote
president
someone in
because of
100 years
democracy.
old because if they want to.
Yeah, but you can't be 33. So why can you be 100?
The age minimum is a lot more of a reason than the age maximum. Age minimum is saying that you want somebody with experience to run your country. You don't want somebody to get elected just to get elected. And people can hold almost every position of office at under the age of 35, except for the president of the United States and Supreme Court. And if you want somebody under the age of 35 in the Supreme Court, then you don't know what the Supreme Court's for. Because the whole point of Supreme Court is you're
It's
supposed to
extreme
have
experience. Yes.
20 plus years of experience as a judge with legitimate experience as a judge. That's the whole point of the Supreme Court.
Okay, I get it,
Not
but-
just to put somebody in there. But to say a 100-year-old man is or woman is going to run for president, in my opinion, if it did happen, if people elected them, then yes.
Nah, dude.
I don't think I would necessarily vote for them myself. Like, and but just because people decide to fucking vote for somebody because of if someone votes for somebody because of their age and strictly because of their age, then that's their choice. But I don't think that should be a benefactor whether or not they can be elected.
I think my problem is that those people think nothing like our generations. That's the main problem. You can't expect somebody that's 90 years
Once
old
again, then
to
you
run.
say it's the majority of generations, then people should stop voting based just on fucking one point and actually vote
agree
on
with
what
that.
they
I
truly
do agree
believe.
with that.
That's
But
the disconnect
I
we
do
have
agree
as a
with
nation.
that. But I also think that the party just kind of just elevates someone based on whatever reason, and then people are only really still stuck with two choices at the end of the day. We both know that. At the end of the day, it's two choices. You vote for this guy or you vote for this guy, and one of them is going to win. Like, we both know that. So, and it's on the party to put them there. The Democratic or Republican Party is who puts them there. They didn't just magically float there by themselves. Without the support of the Republican Party, Donald Trump would not have been president. Without the support of the Democratic Party, Joe Biden would not have been president. So if there was legal limitations on that, then they could prevent that from happening. Because at the end of the day, you're right. Yes, I can vote for whoever I want. I can vote for you to be president as soon as you turn 35. That doesn't mean it's going to fucking happen unless you have the qualifications and the support and all the shit. So I understand. We can disagree on this, but I highly think that there should be a limit on that because there's no way because there's just no way that you can convince me that those people should be leading a bunch of people that are much younger. And there's very little power. There's not very little power. There's a lot of power, but no matter what all the young people say, if the party doesn't support them for whatever reason, then they're not going to get into office. Point blank, period. They're not. They're not without the support of a party. There will always be, until our country drastically changes, either a Republican supported by Republican Party or a Democrat supported by Democratic Party in the office. Point blank, period. There's not going to be some fucking random street dude that's going to get voted into office just because young people think that he's young and smart. Like, it's not going to happen. If he's not supported by one of the
Once
parties.
again, your whole argument isn't against the age. It's about the construct of our system because ultimately both the Republican and Democrat Party could deem somebody age 35 to run on both sides. And then now you have to elect somebody at 35.
Oh, I agree.
So it's not the age, it's the
No.
construct of our system with the whole you're either one way or the other, which is more my argument than age. I don't think age is the benefactor. Because, yes, the only reason Biden got elected is because he was the nomination. He wouldn't have gotten elected if any of the other Democrats were the nomination because there were a lot more that were better and more positioned.
It would have been
suited for the position.
It didn't matter who it was. Whoever it was getting into office. Point blank, period.
But
Yes.
ultimately, though, yeah.
Because people were so sick of
That's-
Donald Trump. It didn't
Then
matter
again,
who
it's
the fuck
party.
it was. They were
Then again,
getting
but
into
that's just the party system, though, because what you literally just said, too, once again, is it's not that he was old. It was the fact that he was put in by the party. So if the party decided to say, hey, I want somebody who's 36, 35 years old, whatever the fuck,
But what I'm
and says,
saying
I want
is,
them to run, then that's the party's
if-
choice. And then once again, then that's
But okay.
then who's to say
Also,
that's not fair to people who are above that age not being represented then?
they shouldn't be. That's my point. There's,
But
they
that's
they
obviously
still
not
should. My point is they shouldn't. Once you reach a certain age, I don't think the 10% of people over that age, over 70, should be leading people. I'm not saying that they can be all old people are senile and fucking can't be leaders, but as like making the decision for hundreds of millions of people that are nowhere near your age range and have probably nowhere near the same ideologies as you do. I don't think that's necessarily should happen that way. I just don't like. I don't agree with fucking 99% of politicians, and most of them that I know I don't agree with on everything are old as fuck. It's not just because they're old as fuck. It's because they think like they're old as fuck. They think like old people. I'm not saying that all old people are fucking wrong or fucking senile. Again, I'm not saying that. Like, I understand that experience and age and things that come with, you know, being a politician or being alive for a long time. But I also think that there's a certain point where you have to realize, okay, you're just also just really stuck in some old ass ways that don't need to be. Like the fact that you just think that gay people shouldn't be married. Like, what the fuck does it matter? You think that women shouldn't be able to get abortions. That's an old timey ass fucking thing to think. There's no reason why fucking 30-year-olds, the bulk of us in the range of 30-ish, think that way. They don't. They just purely, even the Republicans don't really think that way. It's old ass fucking people that want the old ass times back to think that way. Come on, bro. We both know that. It's an old ass timey mindset. It has nothing to do with fucking, it's because all the Republicans support it. No, the fuck they don't. The people that support it publicly, yeah, sure, I'm sure there is. But the bulk of them, I guarantee you do not. I guarantee you the bulk of young people in our generation do not support that shit. They don't, bro. Even fucking, I know religious people that don't even support that shit. Like,
I
well,
honestly
I
lost track of what you were talking about. I just think that this argument isn't like completely invalid, anyways, because it's kind of like it's the same argument of trying to say that the party system needs to be changed because it's nothing's going to happen.
Okay, I
So-
can agree with you on that. Yeah.
And I'm not going to change my mind because I don't think people should be restricted by their age. I don't think that's a fair societal aspect, but
Yeah.
that's just me personally. I don't think we should be able to tell people just because you're so old you can't do something. Same thing with like age restrictions to younger, though. I don't believe there's a certain
Then
age.
you would have to say that.
Scientifically, your brain is not fully developed until you're 25. So if you want to go off of science, then yes, that would be the minimal point. Yes, I'm not saying once again 35 is the key result. Yes, if you wanted to say we should remove age restriction, a 12-year-old can become president if we voted them. Whatever, that's your choice.
I don't
My
think that
point though
I
is
think you need to be
obviously
a
not.
legal adult, but if
I
you can be as
think
old
it's
as
more than
fuck,
legal
then you
adult.
should
I
be able
think
to be
it's-
as young as possible. Then be the
But scientifically, your brain is not fully developed until 25.
I've heard
There's
the
plenty of
studies.
science to back that.
Yeah.
There's plenty of science to back that.
And I don't disagree with you. I'm not saying that that's wrong. I'm just
But-
saying that if I can legally own a firearm and
But
drink
then at the
alcohol
same
and go to
time-
war for my country, then why can't I be a politician? Why can't I be a president?
Well, you can be a
expect-
politician, just
you
not
can't be
president. But
well,
yeah.
you expect me to go die for my country, but if a million people voted, 50 million people voted me to be president, it couldn't happen because I'm too young.
But to be fair,
I could
also
be 85 years old and senile as fuck,
have
but
a
just
hard
because I'm
time
old, I can be
believing
president.
anybody the age of over 30 is going to be senile enough to be like, this 24-year-old who just graduated college is well equipped to be the next president. You got to be pretty senile to actually believe that, or like super manipulated somehow by either their influence of money or power, not because they're actually qualified. I'm sorry, but that's just how it is. At the age of 24, I would be amazed to know one person at the age of 24 that has had the influence to be able to understand world issues, economical issues to the standard of an entire country, and with U.S. having the impact globally that it does. Regardless of what anybody says,
think
we
Joe
impact
Biden
the
has all that?
economies of. Not saying he does. I never said, but it's not about age. That's not age.
But
though.
that's my point.
That's
though.
his own competence, his own ability to actually process things
But
and
that's-
understand things.
But that's my
That's
point.
because there's no evaluation mentally for people.
Okay, well
That's,
then being
once again,
24
a
wouldn't
mental
wouldn't
problem.
be a
It's not-
difference than being Joe Biden. A 24-year-old that hasn't
saying-
experienced.
I'm not disagreeing with that. But that's what again. That's not the age aspect. It's your mental like your actual ability to mentally do the job.
So there could be 24, 23, 21-year-olds.
Very
You
unlikely.
disagree? Okay.
And most of the ones that probably are 21-year-olds don't want to become president because if they're that competent, they're probably going to end up being millionaires because they actually know what the fuck is good for their
I
lives.
agree. I'm
They're
making a
not gonna wanna
point.
get
I
a
don't think
politician.
it should be that way. I'm just
So
trying to make
if
a
you're
point.
that competent, where if you're at the age of 21 and you can run a country, at that point you're probably running a business making millions of dollars a year already in your fucking life. If you're 21 years old and you have the ability to run the country, I guarantee you right now, you don't want to run the country. You're going to be making money, and you're going to prove the fact that the reason you're so confident is your ability to perform. And Like, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to want to
agree.
go become president if I have
I agree.
the ability to do something
The
like that.
point is
That's
that I'm
no reason
saying
for
is
me.
why would it be a law that you can't be a certain age, but you can still have zero competence to run a country just because you're old enough? That's my point.
I never, like I said, I never disagreed with the aspect that they should have mental evaluations of studies that actually truly evaluate, which supposedly they do, but I disagree. But
They don't.
it just
they
depends on
say
the.
they do, but Joe Biden should not be president right now.
Well, it's obviously just depends on who does it. Because I could go to a doctor and they could tell me that I'm completely fine because I paid them. And obviously politicians do that all the time because that's what politicians do is use money,
No.
regardless of their age.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Like I said, this whole conversation's practically irrelevant because it's the same
I'm
aspect
honestly
of
just
getting
arguing.
rid of the two-party system. It's not even relevant. I mean, I'm not even arguing. I'm literally just sitting here.
No,
I
no.
literally blinked for like 5 minutes because I lost track of.
I
caring.
literally argue for the sake of playing the devil's advocate, and because that's kind of the point of a podcast, is just to talk about shit. But my point is that I was just saying that, like, obviously we disagree on the age limit restrictions, but I do think that if there's age restrictions in any way, why is it only one way? Because the other way is just as out of touch, in my opinion, as somebody that's 21. Like you said, like they just at a certain point, I just feel like you're too far gone. We don't have to
Even
continue.
still, I
I just
don't
kind of
think
and
you're
then
gonna
on
get
some
elected
things, huh?
I don't think you're going to get elected anyways.
Yeah,
'cause
well,
I think people
Joe
over the
Biden
age
also
of
got
30,
elected. So I mean,
yeah, but
sure.
you know.
Like I mean,
Also, a lot of people believed before he got elected that he was who they thought that they were, and a lot of people
No.
still believe that he's some fucking godsend.
what they
plenty of
believe
people
is
do.
that they don't want Donald Trump to be president, and they tell
There's
themselves
obviously
that
a lot of
because he
people,
is
but there's also a
president.
lot of people that actually believe that he was going to be.
Anybody that tells you that is lying. Anybody that tells you that he's a competent president is lying to your face. Come on now.
I mean, I'm not
No,
saying that's what they're
even
saying.
the left wing media is crucifying
If you
Joe
look
Biden
at
right
the
now.
votes, if you look at the votes when they were running up against each other, Biden was never behind any other Democrat.
You want to
Maybe
know why?
in 1 or 2 states with Bernie Sanders.
You
Other
want to
than
know why?
that,
Because he
everyone
had the
else-
most support from his party, and because he was vice president under Obama. Only 2 reasons why.
Exactly. So people had faith in him.
Not because he's the most competent.
But people had faith in him. That's what I'm saying. Because ultimately, the Democratic voters get to choose who gets to be presented as their fucking nomination to be run for president. That's what you got to do. So there were enough people who picked him over any of the other Democrat candidates that he won states and he got the electoral votes to run for the Democratic Party. And then at that point, yes, it was between Trump or Biden, in which obviously 90% of his votes probably came because they didn't want Trump elected.
Exactly.
But he still got to that point because he was ultimately state by state of all 50 states that had to vote on what Democrat. He led the majority in getting the most votes across the nation on Democratic votes alone, not Republican and Democrat. Because when you vote for who's running for president, you don't get to vote for the other party unless you ask for a billet change. What is it? A billet? Is it a billet change? I don't know. It's not a billet. It's bullet. Unless you ask for a bullet change, that's the only way you can vote for the other
A
party.
ballot. Why did I just say?
Ballot.
I listened to what you
I was
said.
confused too. I was
And I was
thinking,
like, wait, it's a
I
ballot.
said
Why
billet,
did-
and I'm like, I know it's not a billet, but a ballot. Unless you literally ask for a ballot change, I can't vote for the opposite party.
Yeah, 'cause
Unless
you're
you're
a
an
registered
independent.
Republican.
Unless you're an independent. Unless you're an independent. If you're an independent, you can vote for anyone, because that is technically the whole point of being an independent. But that's my. But so technically, your argument's also invalid in the sense that there were plenty of Democrats that actually believed Biden was the better elect of all the Democrats over everyone else. And I mean, they had like what 30 people almost in the thing, which obviously didn't help some sense. But you can't tell me that he had double digits on second place without people truly believing that he was the better pick.
Also, it comes with, again, I agree, but that also comes with the support of the entire Democratic Party, the actual Democratic Party as a whole. The DNC was supporting
Yeah,
Joe
but votes
Biden.
are still
They
individual
weren't
votes.
supporting Bernie Sanders, so clearly Biden's
Again,
going to be
but
the more
votes are
popular
still
one.
votes, though, as I'm saying. So ultimately, the people that voted Democrat, ultimately, a majority of states voted that Biden should be running over any of the other Democratic elects. That's what happened. That's how our system works.
Yeah.
So that's why he was pinned up against Trump. What the reason he won, yes, was because people literally didn't want Trump to win. That's the reason he won. Not because there were plenty of Americans that actually believed that he was due to be president, because there's plenty of people that would have rather had anybody else but him and Trump.
Yeah.
There's plenty of people that would have rather had anybody but either one of them
Yeah.
elected. So
I would be one of those people.
But
honestly.
it's my point though. Like it's technically him getting to the point that he got was by the votes of Democrats who voted in the pre-elections to to choose who gets elected or who gets to run, sorry, for president. Because obviously each can only have one president elect, each party.
Yep.
So there obviously were thousands and thousands of people who believed that he was the best choice, even if regardless he wasn't. Which once again, I'm pretty confident that most Americans realized that he was not the best choice on the Democratic side. And unfortunately, somehow people just chose him just because they thought he could beat Trump. That's all it was.
Because he had support from the Democratic
Not
Party.
because he had support.
It's
There's a
literally
lot of other
because
factors
he
too.
was
does
vice
have
president,
experience, He does have,
and then he got
Yes.
the support from the DNC because he was vice president under Obama. If Kamala Harris was vice president under Obama instead of Joe Biden, by the way, I think that the only way that there will be a female president is what's happening right now. That's another conversation because we kind of need to wrap this up. I need to go. But I think if it was even Kamala Harris or anyone else was Obama's vice president and then they wanted to run again and they got support from the DNC, they were going to be president. That's my point. Promise. But, you know,
I'm
it
just
doesn't
saying,
matter. It happened how it
ultimately, it's
happened.
still the people who
It is what
elect.
it is. This has
But
been
yes,
Duck
it's
the
still the
Glock.
people who elect.
We like talking, debating, arguing, and we had a good talk. Guns.
You could say we are both master debaters. And
I
we
am
had
a
good
masturbator.
debate today.
And I am aware of my problem.
You all have a wonderful evening or morning, depending on when you're listening or watching this. Appreciate you for tuning in.
Yep.
Don't forget to
Have a good time.
drop a like, follow, and leave us some comments on something social media. And
Yeah, wish me a happy
maybe next time
birthday.
we can chat about it. Yeah.
Wish
Wish him a happy birthday.
For my birthday, all I want is for anyone that watches or listens to
A
this,
booty hoe.
to share it,
Wow.
like it,
Yeah, that-
and to subscribe to our channels. That'd be amazing. This is Duck the Glock podcast. I'm Glock. That's Duck.
Have a good one.
Peace.